because they've gone down the rookie route, not just with Rosenior, but to a certain extent with Enzo Maresca.
Chelsea versus Leeds is in the FA Cup semi-final is live on talkSPORT this Sunday. Under-21s coach Callum McFarlane steps in as interim again. Here's Simon Jordan.
It's quite frankly the dressing room is going to run it. These group of players, they haven't got many leaders in there, but notwithstanding that, they'll make their own decisions for the next 5 or 6 games. They'll turn up on the weekend. This other kid that's going to run the team for them is going to have no experience. He's just going to be a holding voice. And they may well bring someone in that's got some Chelsea background.
Doesn't look like John Terry will be that man. The academy coach hasn't had a call from the board. Elsewhere, Tony Yoka's admitted he's frustrated with Lawrence Okolie after his failed drugs test scuppered their fight in Paris, and Yoka's shot at the WBC #1 spot. But if Okolie is cleared on appeal, would Yoka fight him in the future?
I trust the Ryder board to let us know if it's okay. If they say that it's okay, and if he still have his WBC belt, I will fight him.
And FIFA say they have no plans to swap out Iran for Italy at this summer's World Cup. It's after an envoy to Donald Trump suggested it. There's still uncertainty over Iran's participation following the war with the US and Israel. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
We could be facing phone signal and data shortages in the coming months, and the UK is signing a new deal with France to deploy riot police to their beaches to stop small boat crossings. Emma has more in half an hour.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The season's changing, so get your car's shim pads and studs checked for spring with a free vehicle safety check. Book in centre or at quickfit.com today.
A fine sunny day and warm for most of us. Chillier along eastern coast, where it will remain cloudy and windy in the southwest.
The one and only Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will Traeger. You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Adam is coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp, it's your WhatsApp, it's your WhatsApp, it's your...
This is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT, where this afternoon, please tell us, Charlie, what's coming?
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, Paul.
3 years? Blimey.
Let's find out.
What a marathon that is.
What a show. Former Chelsea fullback Graeme Le Saux gives us his take on Liam Rosenier's sacking. We'll look at a big shake-up to future Lions tours, chat to England's new Rugby League coach, plus there's news of an unlikely World Cup lifeline for Italy.
Maddest story of the day. We'll also enter the world of bad bar snacks, plus offering Duff advice. And ChatGPT has big news from the world of football.
There's all this, plus South American correspondent Tim Vickery with the latest on Estevao injury, and more Spurs supporting bassist Jah Wobble joins us.
Yes.
And we'll have another thrilling waste of half an hour kids game birthday spread. What a waste of time.
Estavio, is it?
Estavio.
Our old mate Estavio.
I should have read it before I read it, Paul. That was my own fault.
I'm going to ask
One mistake.
John, Jah Wobble's real name is John. We'll call him John. He answers to John. That's his name.
Oh, right.
But almost certainly he's been in a doctor's waiting room or something has happened. They've gone, Mr. Wobble?
Yeah.
Mean, it must have happened to him. People have called
TV
him.
formats for Jah Wobble.
Nice to meet you.
Give your head a wobble.
Yeah. That's it. Really?
Wobble board.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Yeah.
Anything else you got, Paul? No?
Yeah, clear a wobble board if I was you. So, something we did want to get the listener. We've got lots to get stuck into. It was difficult last night. I don't know if anybody else had this same situation, but you thought like Burnley-City was going to be an absolute dead rubber. They score after 5 minutes. You think, well, it's only a matter of time. It's a 3-4 niller. And, of course, all the time it doesn't happen. So I was watching Bournemouth-Leeds, but it was the longer it went on, I kept thinking, hang on, it's still 1-0.
Yeah, it's still 1-0, yeah.
So then it was one of those where you kept kind of turning back. And every time I turned back, City had just missed another chance.
You've missed a lot of chances last night.
But it's kind of slightly done at the end because I turned over just in time for Longstaff's goal because it came after the final whistle at City, more or less. Just
I bet you were thrilled about Longstaff's goal. Weren't you?
I was delighted.
Yeah.
for him,
Delighted, yeah.
I was,
Thrilled
to be honest, I think
they're out. Leeds are safe. Leeds.
So I just think they've been absolutely brilliant. You've got to doff your cap to them. I was saying like 13 days ago, it's out of us and Leeds now.
Yeah.
And then they go and win at United. They build on everything they've done. And they've been brilliant. I mean, the space of 10 days, they've got up to 40 points. Look, they're not completely out of it, and they won't be complacent, and they've got the cup as a distraction. But still, what they've done is fantastic.
Well, what they've got...
They never gave up last night.
Yeah.
They kept going, and they'd scored... Okafor nearly scored, I think, just before Longstaff got that one. So it was they've been brilliant, you know. And I was talking to Ali McCoy the other day. And we were just talking about the Wolves game. And it is true. It's an old cliche. I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans have said it. But if you can't go to Wolves, you've already gone down. And look, we saw last night with Bournemouth. There is a bit of... Not Bournemouth, Burnley. There can be a sting in the tail with teams that are effectively down. You know, you're not playing with any pressure. But if you don't go to Wolves and win, you don't deserve to stay up. Absolutely. Do you really? Not when you look around you and the other teams have shown so much resilience to stay up. Then, you don't deserve to.
I think what we see with Leeds especially and other teams that are struggling is spirit. Team spirit is just so important, Paul. You can't put a figure on that, can you? You look at Chelsea, there's no team spirit there. There's no leader, is there? There's no togetherness. With Spurs, I'd say the same thing. Well, the thing that would keep them up is if they can galvanise and come together.
It's looking better under this manager than it ever did previously, but it's whether, they've effectively run out of time for all that. There was some interesting comments last night, if I can find them. I think it was that after the... I think it was after the game on Tuesday. I know you spoke to Andy, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
He wasn't the happiest of men, was
it? No, it was an interesting rant. I think you'll be able to find it online. It's on the podcast anyway, if people want to go and find Andy's rant from yesterday. But there's just, I do feel for him. Look, I was a big Liam fan because he played for Torquay and his dad was our manager.
Of course. I think
in many ways, I feel sympathy for him. I think he was promoted too soon. But what do? You can't turn it down.
No, not when it's part of the same company. He was offered a promotion. Who wouldn't back themselves?
Probably life-changing money as well. He's got to think of his family.
It was Christian Gross, because when he first, for the first spell he had at Brighton, he was a teammate of Liam's, and he said how welcoming Liam was. Liam really helped him when he first came in. He said he was a senior pro, as I am now, and he put an arm around me and he helped me get used to the country, get used to English football. So he obviously loves him as a bloke. But he also said this. He said, you need more than talent in the Premier League. You need talent plus mentality, plus togetherness, plus wanting to fight for each other. If someone is outplayed, then everyone sprints back to help his teammate. But it doesn't work the other way around. You cannot show your talent without all the other basics in the game. And that is so true. So true, isn't it?
Good.
I mean,
very good.
You can have the best. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have the phrase too good to go down. Anyway, Graeme Le Saux is going to join us shortly and give us his take on what's gone on with Liam Rosenior and who full-time might be next.
Yeah, very good. I was in the pub the other night, Paul, as you I like a pub.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought we'd do some stuff on the pub today.
Yeah, pub. You can,
on 81089.
Pub bar snack.
Bar snack. Now, they had a bag of salt and vinegar crisps or cheese and onion, your choice.
Yeah.
And they would put in there for you a pickled egg.
What? So they'd open the bag and just drop it in?
They'd drop it in there.
Depth charge. Just drop a pickled egg in your crisps.
And it was called it's like a cheap ploughman's, basically.
Right.
That's what they were
offering
up. Apparently, they've always done it.
What were they charging for it?
Well,
did you see?
I didn't have it, Paul. I didn't
imagine
it. I saw someone else.
Does it come with a packet of Rennies? Comes with the old Pepto-Bismol
on the little chaser.
Little chaser. I'll have that, and I'll have a little
little shot of Pepto-Bismol on the
just
side.
Just a single Pepto-Bismol, if that's all right.
So I thought we could do. I don't know if there's
bad bar snacks
or individual bar snacks that only your pub that you go into does.
Really?
I don't know. Or your own inventions. The best invention I've ever heard is Bovril with a horseradish in.
Really?
But a cup of Bovril, take your own little sachet of horseradish.
Yeah.
In it goes, little...
Well, the fine author, Harry Pearson, in one of his books, was quite taken with a punter who was putting the little sachets, little cartons of milk into his Bovril.
Oh, nice. Cream it up a bit.
Yeah.
Like a stroganoff.
Yeah, milk, like a cream sauce.
Yeah, very nice.
Milk in the Bovril, Harry had one of his.
So there's that one. Give us your bar snacks, your best pub snacks.
If you've always thought, why did they never do that?
Yeah.
Let us know. talksport.com/H&J, text 81089, tweet TSH&J. Staying in the pub, you were asked from
I was having a snack yesterday before I went off and did some other work, and 5 Polish blokes came up to me and said, we want to go. I must have looked the type.
Yeah.
We want to go to a proper English pub.
Proper English.
Where can we go? Proper English pub around here, and the only one I know around here, because I'm not a Londoner, Paul.
No.
I don't know if you know that. Was not born in the sound of Bow Bells.
No, indeed.
Is the Market Porter in Borough Market, which is a lovely proper old pub. It's probably about 25 quid a pint.
Yeah,
probably
most London pubs are.
Most London pubs are.
Yeah.
So I sent them to the Market Porter and I showed them the picture of what it was, and they went, "Yes, that's exactly what we want."
You could have massively stitched them up.
I could have.
You could have sent them to the most terrible flat roof estate boozer.
Don't go in there.
Yeah. Or you could have sent them to one that was just a terrible antiseptic sort of identikit pub.
And sometimes when you're asked directions or others, you're tempted, aren't you, to just tell them the wrong way.
Sometimes club loyalties get into it.
That's
so
true.
you know,
very nice.
I mean, if opposition fans come up to you and are asking for a bit of advice like that, the decent thing to do is to give them good advice. But there are some fans out there who like to stitch the other fans up.
Exactly.
And the advice that they give, like directions to the ground, which way... I mean, did you ever do that? And
which way's the ground?
Did you ever see them after? Or what's a good pub to drink in for away fans? And they go right into the Great Escape. Anyway, look, let us know. All those this afternoon. Offering duff advice in any circumstances. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089.
Well, Kevin's texted roast potatoes, which, I mean, there's no better pub than a pub that brings out warm roast potatoes.
That's good.
Puts them on the bar. Help yourself. Not help yourself, obviously. Everyone dive in, but...
I mean, until that apocryphal story emerged about bar peanuts, of course, that went under the microscope.
Yeah.
But peanuts...
You're not taking a big handful of roast potatoes, are you? You're taking one. Depends who you're with.
I'd like to think so. So anyway, do let us know. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J 03717 223344. Ian Selley's going to join us for a chat. It's funny, I was chatting to our producer, Sean, who's an Arsenal fan, and he was chatting to some friends last night. There were signs in the game last night. Look, it could have been 4 or 5 if they'd put their chances away. But you could sense the anxiety. You could certainly sense the anxiety on Pep as he prowled that touchline, doing his micro-spitting. Yeah. And the players, I mean, the chances that Burnley were offered up. Marcus Edwards sort of cut inside a couple of times towards the end, didn't he?
Nico O'Reilly missing that sort of tap in. I think he thought it was
when
offside.
When does he ever duff a chance like that?
Does he?
But I mean, there was 3 or 4 chances. So, were there signs there from an Arsenal point of view that it's not over, as Declan Rice performatively told us all? Ian Selley's going to join us, former Arsenal midfielder. He's also in a bit of a battle at the top of the table, I think, at the moment, for his team, Leatherhead Town. Will tell us more about that. It's the NFL draft tonight, and we're going to bring it to you on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport USA YouTube channel. We'll go right back to basics with Will Gavin, part of our top team, bringing you that. You may not know what the draft is, how it works, what it's about, its place in sport.
It's good.
So we'll go right back to basics before we start talking about any personalities and the way it's likely to work. So that's all coming up in the first hour. We'll have a birthday spread for you. Brian McDermott, the New England Rugby League coach, is joining us for a chat. Could be a big shake-up in the world of Rugby Union as well for Lions tours. Jah Wobble joins us to talk. He's got some new music out and he's a big Spurs fan. And lovely new book, a no-show, the World Cup teams that never were. The great nations throughout the years that never made it to a tournament. We'll be touching on that. Maybe Italy will now, although it does seem unlikely, and that's something we'll be exploring a little bit later on as well. But Graham, to join us first, we're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Check out their wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Toolstation.
anyone seen Arsenal? Nicola touches fire. Rugby fire. The other with Liverpool with the dog. Don't get favour mine, Gio. Lose this demise. What does that mean? Demise. Can you hear me? You're going to win it, Liverpool. The quadruple. The treble. The treble. The double! Hybrid! Region Crips FC! Set Piece FC! Can you hear me, Set Piece FC? You're Mr. with Never been Galasaurus! Here's Morgan! Can you hear me, greatest club side in the world? You're Mr. One Never beating Matt Lucas OBE! Sharpie, Ben, can you hear me, Sharpie? Can you hear me, Sharpie? You're Mr. One Never beating! North London forever! Can you hear me, lost and liver? You're going to win a liver meeting.
What a weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal have gone and bottled it again. The gift that keeps on giving. Arteta's fire wasn't enough to get anything at the Etihad. Man City now have the chance to go top on Wednesday. That game's live on talkSPORT. Give us a call, Arsenal fans.
Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will! You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Adam is coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your WhatsApp. It's your...
Chelsea go out of the Champions League with a whimper.
Chelsea 0, Manchester City 3.
Stamford Bridge engulfed in booze. And Welbeck is there to finish it. Chelsea suffer an historic 5th consecutive Premier League defeat without scoring.
Unacceptable in every area.
Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea.
Are you surprised they've pulled the trigger now? Having watched that performance last night, probably not.
But this was a project manager that they knew well from his time at Strasbourg, and it hasn't worked almost since day one.
A little surprised at the timing of it, but ultimately the outcome, I think, was sort of inevitable, really.
After 5 games, losing, not scoring, it doesn't surprise me, especially at Chelsea.
The lack of effort, the lack of intensity from the players, it was pretty clear they've given up on their manager. The fans certainly had as well.
Afterwards, I just felt that there was no way that he could continue after saying what he said, but also in the manner in which he delivered it. But he is only part of the problem.
Yep, not as cut and dried as saying it was all down to Liam Rosenior, certainly. Let's get the thoughts now on his sacking from a former Chelsea and England defender. It's Graeme Le Saux. Good afternoon, Graeme.
Hello, Graeme.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Graeme.
So, I take it probably didn't come as a massive surprise to you either after that performance at Brighton.
No, to be honest, it was more of a surprise for me that he got appointed than he got fired. On the basis that where the club were, what the requirement was at the point of Enzo Maresca leaving Chelsea, Champions League qualification is absolutely essential when you look at the financial situation that Chelsea are in, the aspirations of the club, the group of players they've spent a huge amount of money on. So to bring in Liam felt like plugging a gap and a reactive move rather than anything overly planned. And obviously the connection he had with Strasbourg, his relationship with the ownership and Blue Co, as well as I'm sure the recruitment team at Chelsea with the 5 or so sporting directors that they've got, was probably a reason why he got installed. But it was clear that, you know, when you're dealing with a club like Chelsea, you're managing so many different aspects of a club day to day, you know, both up and down, left and right, on and off the pitch, that the skill set you need, I think Liam would admit was always going to be a challenge for him.
Do you have sympathy for him on a human level, Graeme?
Oh yeah, I do. You can't blame him for taking the job. I think he's a result of, or his firing and his tenure was a result of the problems at Chelsea. It wasn't a cause of it, and you can see that the lack of fit between his profile, status, experience, and that of what was expected of him from both off the pitch and on the pitch. It was always clear to me that he was going to be, we're going to see him sort of deconstruct in front of our eyes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just, and even just the body language in his press conferences, the language he used, the way he tried to control what he was saying, it wasn't genuine. I never felt that. And if I can feel that, having no relationship with Liam and not working with him day to day, imagine how the players feel in the dressing room.
Yeah.
They pick up on these. I don't want to call them weaknesses, because it can't be a weakness if you've not got the tools at your disposal through lack of experience. So I just think that he was put in a position he was always doomed to fail, and you could see that by the gradual implosion of everything that's sort of going on at the club at the moment.
When players start to down tools, Graeme, how does that manifest itself in a squad? Is it one or two and then it just spreads? How does that work?
I think you have the alpha males within any dressing room that are quick to sort of pounce on any weakness that they see in people. And I think one of the challenges Chelsea have got, and again, it's completely self-inflicted, you put young aspiring players without any real experienced leaders that have been through the process and have earned their position, shall we say, within the club to have opinions, to be part of a leadership group. When you see these younger players sensing a manager's soft spots, shall we say, and then decisions are made that they maybe don't agree with, that rupture can happen very quickly. And it's a case of, it's not so much not wanting to play for someone, it's just not having the real belief that they really know how to take you into a game, out the other side, and on a run of games that's going to sort of meet your expectations. And when I watch a lot of Chelsea games with the work that I do for NBC, and when you see the body language of the players warming up, the subs, even the way they were warming up, I thought was unprofessional a lot of the time. The interactions between the players when they're sort of throwing their arms at each other, I should say. All of these little micro signs add up to, I think, just a dressing room that was not ever really behind him or really trusted that he had the experience to make them perform better.
I mean, some of those players went off on international duty and were very upfront about the fact that, well, not so much that they didn't rate him, but they weren't happy that Maresca left and they didn't quite know what was going on, which isn't helpful. I mean, does that point to a bad dressing room in your eyes, Graeme?
Well, look, these players are massively ambitious, and they're getting, they're getting the rewards of players that are sort of, I think, too soon for some of them, certainly, with the lack of experience. These huge, long contracts come with a consequence as well, because you're creating a security and a buffer around the player and his own performance against a manager and a club. So when you've got so many young players on long contracts, they're going to feel entitled. And that's what I think is a result of some of the press conferences when players go back to their countries. They'll be embarrassed as well by the fact that they're underperforming. Enzo Fernandez, a World Cup winner, going back to Argentina, he'd be embarrassed about what's happening at Chelsea. And obviously it's happened, for a long, long time, players going on international duty and saying things that are a bit more relaxed with their, when they're in their own sort of environment, and they say things that they don't think are necessarily going to reach the club. And obviously that's not the case, but it undermines everyone. And discipline and guardrails is an absolutely vital part of managing a squad of young, highly ambitious, men that have got, egos, want to achieve and have talent. You've got to manage that, and you've got to manage it really carefully. And again, these are all symptoms of a wider problem at Chelsea, but obviously something that Liam never really had the ability to set those guardrails with any credibility that people took him seriously.
The next permanent appointment is obviously going to be a key one, and there is a bit of a perception that if you walk into that, you're going to have to work within the structure that Blue Co have set up with the sporting directors, etc., and that won't fit the profile of certain managers. I see Diego Simeone's in the betting. That seems unlikely. Iraola is favourite because he has been kind of working in a structure like that. Cesc Fabregas has been mentioned. Marco Silva, Felipe Luis, who's ex-Chelsea and he's sort of coming on. Even Frank Lampard for a return, but you imagine he'll spend another first season at Cov. Who do you see as the ideal fit, Graeme?
Well, I think you could sort of name any one of those, and sort of you could argue why they're a good fit and maybe not such a good fit. I think it goes much more. There's a much more fundamental problem here at Chelsea, and I would be, if I was, going into the club today and doing some work for them, so they asked me to audit what had happened. The first thing I would do is try and establish what the process was of hiring Liam in the first place, and understand that process. And again, it's not about Liam Rosenior at all. It's about why you felt that was the right person for the job at the time. Trying to understand that, and as you say, how that fits into the approach that the club have, and that the sporting directors are working under a remit. They're being entrusted to deliver what the ownership wants. And I suppose the most basic question to ask, all those decision makers in Blueco is, well, what is it you're trying to achieve over what period of time, and how much success do you want on and off the pitch? Until you understand that, you don't understand how to put the pieces together. Because fundamentally, if it's a grow the business and develop players to sell them and look at them as assets, as all these things we're hearing, without necessarily needing to succeed on the pitch, that's one version. If we need a hybrid of developing a return on the investment and being successful on the pitch, that changes everything. And so until you understand that, and I don't think anybody understands that, I don't think internally they do, because the mixed messages that come from performance demands versus the investment strategy, they're not aligned at all. And that a simple example of that is there's no balance in that squad. There's no balance to bring stability on the pitch and experience on the pitch against, a hugely talented but developing group of young players that don't have any cover, don't have any protection. So, I mean, I know Andone Iraola well from my time in working in Spanish football when he was at Mirandés and Rayo Vallecano, and he's a fantastic coach. What he's done at Bournemouth is absolutely tremendous. But he's a serious manager. So I would, if I was speaking to Andone, I'd be saying, do you want to be the next one that's being put into that mangle and spat out the other side? Because we've seen Thomas Tuchel, Maurizio Pochettino have gone in, Graham Potter, the Enzo is it doesn't matter how much experience you've got to align everything and give a coach autonomy in certain decisions, and then allow the strategists at the club to build the plan, but not at the cost of what's happening on the pitch. And I'm afraid when you look at what's happening on the pitch, that's exactly the outcome they've managed to deliver.
Really interesting, Graeme. Thanks ever so much. Graeme. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks a lot.
Look forward to it. See you both soon.
There we are. There's Graeme Le Saux there, the former Chelsea defender.
I do a podcast with Graeme at the moment. He's disappeared, but it's called Football So What?
Yeah.
And Graeme's absolutely brilliant on it. We're interviewing lots of interesting people within football and within... Well, Graham's got a business. He was telling us when he came in a little while ago that they ran a kind of model on... not for Manchester United, but they ran it, didn't he, as a business? Yeah.
On how well their big manager during appointment might work, and it didn't come out massively well. Whereas it would have been quite interesting to see if they'd run the model on Chelsea, Liam Rosenior for Chelsea. But what Graeme makes that point, and that's the thing. There's going to be a few managers. It's a big job at a big club, and it's always difficult to say no. But there will be a few top managers sort of thinking.
But do you want to lose your reputation? That's the thing. You go, if you look at what Frank has gone away and rebuilt his reputation by doing a brilliant job at Coventry.
It might kind of feels maybe. I mean, I think Stan Collymore was saying yesterday that he should have had a flutter on the fact he always felt that Frank Lampard would go back, but maybe this is not the right time. Anyway, Andy will have his thoughts when he joins us with the spread, although I think he came off the long run yesterday. But now it's confirmed he might be a bit more relaxed. Ian Selley's going to join us for a chat. What did he witness last night in the Burnley-City game? Maybe to give him a bit of optimism, because they are now second. It has happened, of course. but by the barest of margins. So we'll be having a chat with Ian, the former Arsenal midfielder. We'll look at the NFL draft tonight, which we're going to keep you in touch with. And there's more Chelsea chat in the talkSPORT Daily podcast. Adrian Durham, Andy Townsend, Alex Crook, Jason Cundy delve into whether the Chelsea project is in ruins and where the Blues go next. Available on all podcast platforms now.
I don't know where West Ham's next win will be. I don't know where Spurs is will be. But if Spurs beat Wolves, which is the easiest game out of all the fixtures combined, I wouldn't put my ass on West Ham beating Everton, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle or Leeds. And if Spurs beat Wolves, West Ham are going to have to beat one of those teams. Or get a few draws, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't see that happening. So now I don't really know where my money is as to who's going down now.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought, and I've said to you before, I thought Spurs would survive. I just think they've got a bit more about them. I know they haven't won a game in 2026, a league game, but it probably was a little bit of a missed opportunity last night. To be fair, it could have got a lot worse because they had chances. When Brennan Johnson's header, he probably should have done a lot better with that. Yeah. Goal obviously ruled, which is quite interesting at the weekend. So at least there's not one almost. Oh my goodness, they've won.
Neither on telly, right? They're both Saturday afternoon.
Both 3 o'clocks. So
I can't remember. You got that stick, haven't you?
What stick?
Huh?
What stick?
So you can watch games?
No, I haven't got no stick.
I thought you got Premier League TV.
Yeah, code, not stick.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Sorry, Darren.
Use the word code, please.
Code. I meant code.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. But yeah, I think West Ham will see it as an opportunity missed. But I said yesterday when we were predicting scores, for me, it just had draw written all over it. Palace, I know maybe obviously after getting through in the Europe and going back home and making changes.
Who would want the Chelsea job right now? We understand Andoni Iraola is the leading candidate. Here's talkSPORT presenter and Chelsea fan Olivia Bazaglo.
With the situation at Bournemouth and the setup he had there, and I just don't know if Andoni Iraola would even come and work at Chelsea. No. I just think it's a complete mess at the moment.
Under-21 coach Callum McFarlane steps up again after Rosenior's sacking. John Terry's currently amongst the academy staff at Chelsea. Will he be involved? Here he is on TikTok.
I'm not sure what Callum's backroom staff is going to look like. I've not had a call. I've not had a message. I will be continuing my role in the academy.
Now, it's understood FIFA have no plans to replace Iran with Italy at this summer's World Cup. The switch was proposed by Donald Trump's special envoy, who's Italian, with US and Israel's conflict with Iran still ongoing. Elsewhere, Bryson DeChambeau is apparently working on a new live golf contract, despite uncertainty over Saudi funding. Meanwhile, Barry Hearns told us talks over Saudi snooker events are ongoing.
Snooker's in a very strong position. We've got a lot of customers that want events and not many days. So if we get to that situation, we've got plenty of homes for other events.
And tributes have been paid to Mr. Blackburn Rovers, Tony Parks, after his death at 76. The former player and coach was one of the longest-serving employees in the club's history, starting from 1970 and concluding in 2004. There's more at talksport.com.
the full-time whistle. It's done, it's dusted, and it's victory for Manchester City. Just about. They head to the summit, and Burnley head to the Championship.
I'm really more than pleased for the fact that I know which opponent we are facing. So I saw experienced Arsenal last Sunday, and I said, how competitive and how many good things. So I started there because we are do very good thing. We can do a few things better, but yeah, we are there. So now is a recover Saturday, semi-final, and we see what happens.
It's kind of hard to know what to make of that City performance last night, because if they'd scored a second at one point, then they probably would have gone and get the 3 and 4. They would have relaxed. But the fact they didn't meant we probably didn't see, the sort of way we expect to see City play.
Scott Parker is brilliant at 1-0. It's either winning 1-0 or losing 1-0. He's good. He's good at
Not really
those.
winning losing 1-0 this season. But so it is quite difficult to tell. But I think a number of Arsenal fans of our acquaintance were quite buoyed by what they saw. I don't know if it was a bit of mental or physical tiredness, the fact they just couldn't get the second goal. And we saw them, not so much wobble, but we certainly saw the nerves. So anyway, let's ask a former Arsenal player. He's currently the Leatherhead manager. It's their former midfielder, Ian Selley. Hi, Ian.
Hello, Ian.
How are we doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, we're not so bad. We're not so bad. So I say, look, maybe the Arsenal fans, they've gone second, and the mental blow of that, although they were fully expecting it, is probably tough to take. But was there anything in what you saw last night that would keep you positive as an Arsenal fan?
I think the positivity is that we've been consistent all season. Man City are a great side, but there's still 5 games to go. So, I think there's a lot to play for, and I think Arteta has done a great job, and I think it's sort of up to the players now for the last 5 games to push as hard as they can and get it over the line.
Do you think it's almost a good thing that it's happened now? The worst has happened. They've got dropped down to second. They've lost the lead. So now they can regroup, get together and go, right, it's 5 games and we go for it.
Yeah, I think when you're top for so long, there's also that pressure that everyone wants to beat you. We've had it at Leatherhead as well. We've been top all season. You do feel under pressure. So now, we're sort of level on the points. I think, I think the squad's there to do it. I think the squad's there to get it over the line. Also, I'm a big Arsenal fan as well, and a positive about how the team will move on. But it's going to go down to the wire. If you look at Arsenal's fixtures for the run-in, I think Arsenal have probably got the better fixtures, but the Premier League being the Premier League, there's every game's a tough one. You're not guaranteed the 3 points. So, for Man City to go on and win it, they've got to be on top form. But I do think there's going to be a couple of twists and turns, especially on the run-in.
They can go back to the top because obviously City are in FA Cup action this weekend. I don't know about the sort of psychologically how that works, but I think it would have been, as you said, it would have been very troubling. You have stayed the top of the table. I suppose that's the difference at Leatherhead, but it must be quite troubling when you've been so far out in front to look at the league table this morning, and albeit only just, you find yourself second all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, we had that Leatherhead. We lost 2 games on a spin. We were top for 220 days, I think it was, and then lost 2 and then dropped down to second. But I think that's when the team realised that you're good enough to win this division. It'd be the same with the Arsenal players. They've been consistent. They've been top for a reason. They've been superb. And I think it's a bit of a reality check. Sometimes, a little blip, a little reset button can be hit, and I think that's when you're expecting your senior players and the squad players to properly step up. And I still believe they're going to do it. I think they've been very, very good. Like I say, they have been consistent. They've got the squad there, but I think it's up to the players now. For five more games, they've got to give it the beans and help them manage get this over the line, because it's been there. We know it's been there. There's been some ups and downs recently, but it's still all to play for, I think.
How do you feel about the Champions League chances? They got that first leg against Atletico next weekend. Second leg at their place is at your place, should I say? Is good, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well, it's fantastic for the club. I think, obviously the Carabao Cup final they got to as well. Didn't do so well in that. But, I think all in all, it's been a good season. There's still lots to play for, the Premier League and the Champions League. And, when you look at the Champions League teams left in there, you sort of think, well, on their day, Arsenal can beat them guys, So, I believe it's going to be a good run-in. But like I say, with the Premier League, it's going to be tight. And each game... I'm sure there's going to be twos and throws on each game, So it's just like I say. I think for from my point of view, it's up to the players now. It's time for them to step up. We've got good players in there. They have been top for a long period of time, and now it's the reset button's been hit, and let's get themselves ready for the running.
Dean's been in touch. I don't know if you want to hear this or not, Ian. He asks, how did you manage to steal Ian Wright's Adidas boots when you were an apprentice? My older brother Justin played in them for years, even though he was a Spurs fan. Does that mean anything to you at all, Ian?
Yeah, I know you're talking about there. Yeah, so as a YT, we were only on £25 a week, and boots were a little bit sparse. So I don't think I actually stole the boots. To be fair, I think they was handed them to me. But the first team boys at the time were generous guys and that, and any extra boots that they didn't use, but they passed down to the YTs. So I'm presuming on that occasion I sold them to one of my mates for a couple of quid. So yeah.
Right, he had a good reputation for that, I think, over the years. You're not the first player who played under him. He passed the boots on. So yeah, he had a good reputation for that.
Yeah, he's a great lad. I think at that time as well. I think I was always clean Anders Limpar's boots, David Rocastle's boots as well. They used to tip well at Christmas times, which is what it was all about, and they looked after the younger players. So yeah, they were good days then.
I take it the young academy prospects are not cleaning boots anymore, Ian, are they?
I don't know if that's happening, is it?
No, they're probably cleaning their Range Rover Sports, to be honest with you. I don't know. But, yeah, it's a little bit different nowadays. But yeah, I think back in the 90s, it was being a YT, especially at Arsenal, it was a good education. Being on time, looking the right way, and working hard at what you did. So I think it was a good upbringing for that generation of young players.
So are you more or less done then at Leatherhead? How many more games you got left to get over the line?
We've got one game on Saturday, which is left. We wrap the league up with 4 games to go. So
brilliant.
Yeah, we got promoted as champions, which is fantastic. It's a lot of work that goes into sort of the non-league teams, from the board, the supporters, the players, and the management staff. And we've been there. It's our second season now. We had a rebuild last season, and we're pleased because we put the effort and the work in, and the players have been fantastic. So it's been a real positive buzz this season.
A couple of seasons could be playing Torquay, can they?
Up to the Isthmian Premier, which is one below the National League South. There's people can work it out, which is where Torquay are, which has been Leatherhead away. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be there.
Yeah, and well, you want to ideally you want to be promoted.
I know, we want to be promoted by then. But I'm very, very realistic. But it's the beauty of the pyramid, isn't it, Ian?
It's fantastic. I think it's the non-league teams are getting more support now, I think, because obviously Premier League tickets are expensive, and it's an expensive day out. So going to your local non-league team, it's always a good bit of banter. There's some good football now, some good players in there nowadays that have dropped down to the level, and the pitches are a million times better than what they were, and they're better run clubs. So it's a real good environment, but it's a tough level. It's not the standard's very, very good. So
are you
for us to go into step 3 next season? We're all looking forward to that, but obviously we need to strengthen as well. So, lots to look forward to.
Good stuff, Ian. All the best.
Ian.
Congratulations this season. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Ian Selley, there, the former Arsenal midfield and Leatherhead manager. They won promotion.
Nice indeed, yeah. I was wondering if he was best player in training. They always used to say, Glenn Hoddle was best player in training. I wonder if he is at Leatherhead.
Often at Liverpool, even when he was manager, Kenny Dalglish was the best.
Best player. Couldn't get the ball off.
Yeah, exactly.
Annoying all
Probably
the
most competitive in training. We're going to talk about the NFL draft. It's going to be live on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel later. And we're going to take you right back to basics, explain how the whole thing... Well, we won't spend hours on it, but we will explain briefly, because you may have heard the term, and you're not into American sports, well, what's that then? Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Will Gavin is going to take us back to basics very shortly, part of our team bringing you that.
I'll have a pint of NFL draft. You might have thought it was
that. You might have thought it was that. Have it
in bottles, no, just on draft.
We're here with Toolstation. Get your toolbox essentials this spring with big savings on screws and fixings. Next stop, Toolstation.
Arsenal have been reeled back in.
They are the title in the hands for months and months, and 3 weeks ago they had 10 points. It's not losing against City, as we said. You know, it's not losing against City that annoy me the most, because there is no shame of losing against City. But it's the game before that, Bournemouth. You know, when you lose the 3 points at home, the way they played, I watched the game. I was so. I'm not going to say the word on the radio because, but you understand what I mean.
It was flat, wasn't it? It was flat.
Yes. No desire. I think they had no idea what's going on the pitch, and I think they didn't understand exactly what it takes, you know, to win the Premier League, especially when you have to fight against City. This team is amazing. You know, they're acting like as a champion every single season. So,
did you say that you don't think some of these players know what it takes to win the Premier League? What's involved in winning it? How you win it?
Have you seen the game against Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah.
Honestly,
there was no urgency. It was strange. I mean,
no energy, no creativity, no desire. I mean, guys, you're fighting for the title. You know that if you win that game, it doesn't matter if you lose against City.
Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will! You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet?
Sad I've missed coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp, it's your WhatsApp, it's your WhatsApp, it's your...
That's the music that plays, of course, every time Charlie Baker walks into a room.
I asked for it.
It's great, wouldn't it?
It's in my contract.
No, of course not. One of the most unique events in world sport gets underway tonight. The 2026 NFL Draft kicks off in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, you can hear the first round in full exclusively on talkSPORT 2 and on the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel, with the first pick made from 1 a.m. And he'll be in his house in Miami, I think. More on that in a moment. Join our NFL host, Will Gavin, draft expert Dom Corbett, and a panel of NFL fans as they bring you every single pick, trade, moment of the drama live. Our build-up starts from 11 p.m. on talkSPORT 2. You'll also be able to see our team give their verdicts on every pick made with a live watch-along over on the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel from 12:30. And Will Gavin joins us now. Good afternoon, Will.
Hey, Will.
Afternoon, gents. How are you doing? You are very much disturbing my intended nap time for today.
Oh, of course.
Ready for tonight. But for you guys, I rouse from my hibernation.
It's very good of you. Thank you, Will. Now, we thought, as I said, let's go back to basics. There may be people out there who have no interest or knowledge of American sport. And they probably, as Charlie just said, NFL Draft, they're trying to buy a pint of it. So, I mean, it's worth going back to how it works in American sport, how different it is, maybe if they're football fans, the way it works in football. A kind of brief, I know it's a big subject, but briefly how the draft works.
Yeah, look, today is one of the best days of the year because every team has true hope. They have the opportunity to go and pick up the best young players in football and bring them into their teams and try and revitalise their futures. And the way that it works in US sports, as a general rule, is that people play in high school, they then go to college, play college football, which is absolutely huge. I mean, there's, I think, 5 stadiums, over 100,000 people in college football. It's immense how big it is as a sport out there. Dominates Saturdays while the NFL dominates Sundays. And then once those players have either aged out, got to senior year, or declare early for the draft if they're good enough, then they are made available to the NFL teams to pick and add to their squads. So tonight, the first of 7 rounds. And the way that it works is the worst team from last year, which is the Las Vegas Raiders in this case, get to pick first. And it is funny, the NFL, Americans in general, hate the idea of socialism or communism or anything like that. And yet the NFL is set up as like the biggest socialist organization in the world. It's all designed to be as fair as humanly possible. They share the profits. They have this system of the best team, the worst team gets to pick the best players. But yeah, it's a really good fun night. Some really great stories. And like I say, everyone has some hope at this point in the season.
It's basically as if we didn't have promotion and relegation in the league and Wolves went into next season being able to get Max Dowman, for example, something like that. It's that effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They are the team who are bottom. They look at the best player who's, I guess in our case, you'd say under 18 or under 20, something like that, and they can go and add them to their squad. And not only that, you get to add them because of the way that their contracts and salaries are controlled. The first 4 years you've got them, they are cheap for a player at their position normally as well. So you take the quarterback who's going to go number one overall. The average proper starting quarterback in the NFL nowadays, when they're signing a new contract, is getting $50 million plus per year. Fernando Mendoza will sign a contract tonight with the Las Vegas Raiders or over the coming days for about $40 million over the next 4 years. So it just gives you an idea that when you've got a salary cap like they do in the NFL, that cost-controlled nature of having a top-tier player who's very cheap for you means you can go and spend elsewhere and hopefully get better very, very quickly.
How do they decide on the ratings? How do they decide who's the number one pick and number two pick? Is that stats-based? Is that opinion-based?
So every team does it differently. It's the fact is every team has a huge scouting department who spend the entire season before going and watching these players in college, watching the tape or the film, as they say, watching them, the film back of them. And then you get through to January and February time, and they then are able to, go and visit with the teams. They're allowed to have 30 players into their building from this year's draft. They have something called the Combine in Indianapolis, where all of the players go and they get medically tested. They can meet with the teams. They do like on-field testing. So they run a 40-yard dash. They see how many bench presses they can do, all of that stuff. And they also do pro days at their university. So you get lots of opportunities to meet with these players, assess them, see what you think about them going in. And yet even so, the hit rate for first-round players, the first 32 guys picked, is around 50% of them really work out and become true stars in the NFL. Half of these guys are out of the league by the end of that rookie contract.
I mean, probably the great example of that is Tom Brady, isn't it? Who probably Mendoza will be working with. So, because, what was it, 192? It's an infamous figure that he was where he was picked in the draft. Is that right? Something like that.
Yeah, Tom Brady fell all the way to the 6th round, which is, when you consider that he became the greatest NFL player of all time, he had 8 quarterbacks picked ahead of him. He was picked 199th overall. He'd been a backup for most of his college career, only started in his final season. And yet it turned out he was the best player of all time in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers right now, their starting quarterback, the young man called Brock Purdy, he's in his 4th, 5th year in the league. He came in as the very last pick in the draft at 267th overall and was seen as a guy they were bringing in as a backup or a third-string player, and it turned out it was brilliant. So these guys spend a long time assessing, and actually a lot of the time there might be an intangible, there might be something that happens with these players that proves them wrong, but tonight we see the absolute cream of the crop go, the top 32 guys.
And it's a very glitzy event. I was in the States once when it was all unfolding, and it's a huge glitzy event. All the players' families go. It's all very emotional.
They put on a hat, don't they, Paul? If they've been
they put their caps on and stuff. But available. Tonight, Fernando Mendoza has decided not to go, hasn't he? He has decided he's going to stay with his family in Miami and watch it all unfold on TV. But the cameras will be there.
Yeah, so of the guys who are picked in the first round, of the prospects who are expected to go there, 16 have been invited. I think a lot more were invited, but 16 have elected to actually go to Pittsburgh to be there for the first round. Problem is, if you're a guy who's maybe on that cusp of being picked in the first round, you turn up, you're wearing your suit, your bling, your family's there, your girlfriend's there, and you've gone so big on it, and then you don't get picked in the first round, you end up falling. You think about a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who, yes, he was picked in the first round, but expected to be at number 1 overall or in the top 3 or 4, and ends up falling right down into the late teens. it's seen as quite an embarrassing thing to happen to you, that you're on camera constantly just waiting and waiting. That's not the case with Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback who is going to go to the Raiders, he's a character, but in a very different way to, I think when you say character about people in football, you're probably thinking of somebody who might be a bit of a lad, bit of a kind of different kind of personality. Fernando Mendoza is this kind of God-fearing, loves his mum, loves his grandma, never swears in interviews, always about the team, never about himself. He's kind of this really interesting kind of corn-fed middle America, 6'4", built like a brick outhouse.
I love that sort of
thing. They're going to love him, but the fact is that it's the least Las Vegas human being you've ever met in your life, and yet he's going to end up with the Raiders. So it's an odd dichotomy on that, but I think the fact that he's going to go and work with Tom Brady is going to be so perfect for him. And yeah, he's going to be at home in Miami with his family, getting picked there, and they will have cameras. They'll have caps of every team. These guys who are at home.
Yeah,
Obviously, they only really need a Raiders hat for him, and we will get to see his reaction. And it's a really beautiful moment. They've worked 20 plus years for this in their lives, and actually getting to the league, getting their big payday is a really, really great moment.
We should point out, due to some changes over the last few years, that college players, good college players, top college players, earn pretty well through their image rights. And I mean, Fernando Mendoza is already a millionaire. I mean, he's not made the sort of money you make tonight, but a lot of these top guys are not poor, are they? Because they've been making money through college football.
Yeah, and listen, Fernando Mendoza moved to Indiana for his final year of college, having played at Cal before that, the California Bears. And from his perspective, he did that both to get a good starting opportunity, ended up winning a national championship, but also due to this new NIL system where they can now earn money as college athletes. He made a lot more money doing that as well. And actually, it is affecting the draft right now because the NIL money has only come in over the last 3 or 4 years. And so this year's draft's a bit of a funny one. You've still got some guys who are like 25, 26 years old who stayed in college for years because of COVID and are coming out very late. And then you've got these guys who have stayed in because they've had the NIL money. So it's actually seen as a bit of a weak draft as you get further in. And then suddenly in 27, 28, 29, as all of that backlog backs up, we're suddenly going to get these drafts that have guys in the 3rd or 4th round who you'd normally have to get in the 1st round. Right. So it has really affected how this looks, and it makes tonight really intriguing. I think we'll see loads of trade, loads of movement, loads of action from the teams. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
We'll let you get some kip then. Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Cheers, guys.
We'll go in back tonight with our team from 11 p.m. on talkSPORT 2, and I'm sure Todd Macklin will be right across that tomorrow after the first round.
Will is fast becoming the man. He's
play-by-play
viral,
isn't he?
Going viral.
Yeah. He has a US profile.
He does,
whatever that means.
He's fantastic.
Anyway, go and join the gang tonight, and you'll watch that all unfold. So, still to come, we're going to talk Rugby's Union and League. Brian McDermott has become England's Rugby League head coach. We'll be hearing from him. Andrew McKenna joins us. There'd been talk of this, but quite a big shake-up potentially in the world of British and Irish Lions. New book written by author Jack Bennett, No Show, the World Cup teams that never were, which has got some great stuff in it. And ChatGPT has got very exciting news. Yeah. Plus Jah Wobble, legendary bassist from Peel and other fine bands, is a big Spurs fan, joining us for a chat. Talk about some new music he's involved in. We'll play some stuff too. That's all to come.
You found the mask?
Yeah, I found the mask.
It's just who we are, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I hope you lost it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Mate, do you know, it's half hot in here. And I can't... So you don't realise what it's like. I've had a Arteta on. I'm going to have to take this off, mate. Well, I can't.
No? You what?
Wow, it's hot. I've got to take my top off, mate. I can't keep doing this, mate. I can't keep doing this.
What is going on?
What do
What?
you mean?
What is this?
Which what?
Is this talkSPORT merch?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my God, he's got a shirt. You've now got a shirt on. You're kidding me. What is this shirt? What is this?
I don't know what you're on about, mate. I just knocked this whole thing up.
So for people who are not watching on YouTube right now, Cundy has got a T-shirt with the Ange mask. I've seen signs.
As Lewis Hamilton, now at Ferrari, dares to dream of a record 8th F1 world title, the Tifosi will be hoping the Brits can bring glory back to Italy. To many, Ferrari and Formula One are inseparable. They're the only team in the sport today to have competed in the first World Championship in 1950, are the most successful team in history, and have built some absolutely gorgeous cars. Their first driver's title was won in 1952 by Alberto Ascari. Considered one of F1's most dominant and best-loved champions, he drove the iconic Ferrari 500 and defended his title the year after. It was Juan Manuel Fangio in his Ferrari 250 who secured the team's next driver's title in 1956. Remember, he was world champion 5 times with 4 different teams. Mike Hawthorne, Phil Hill and John Surtees also won titles for Ferrari in the 50s and 60s, and the cars back then were beautiful, and they even sounded great, didn't they? Anyway, Ferrari went 11 years without winning a title until Niki Lauda won in 1975 in the iconic 312T. Throughout much of the 80s and 90s, though, Ferrari looked like they'd never go all the way again. Le Professeur Alain Prost came pretty close in 1990, but lost out to his bitter rival and former teammate at McLaren, Ayrton Senna. It was only when John Todt recruited a swathe of staff from outside of Italy, including Michael Schumacher, that the glory days returned 21 years after their last driver's title. The turn of the century saw the prancing horse sprint to an unprecedented 5 consecutive championship doubles. And after Schumacher left, Kimi Räikkönen reclaimed the driver's title immediately. But despite employing 1,500 people, the Iceman remains the last Ferrari world champion. So, 16 constructors' titles, 7 more than McLaren, and 15 drivers' titles, 4 more than, again, McLaren. Ferrari are truly Formula One's top team. Forza Ferrari.
Good afternoon, it is Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. A little bit later on, Andy Brassel will join us. He was in the stadium last night when Lamin Yamal picked up that injury.
Oh, yeah.
Good to hear that, you know, he's going to make the World Cup.
Is it Paul?
Well, I mean, you want to see the best players in it?
No.
You want everybody crocked?
I want everyone crocked, everyone rubbish
All
except us.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Maybe I'm being a bit of...
I want it to be everyone's
bit of a World Cup
everyone's
lovey.
B team except ours. All our best players.
Right. Well, we're going to have a chat about some of the teams that never made it and the kind of key periods in their footballing history when they weren't there, with the author James Bennett, who has written the book No Show, the World Cup teams that never were, and all manner of other stuff to come, including Tim Vickery with the latest on that Esteval injury, Felipe Luis for Chelsea, and much more besides. But before all of that, it is time for H&B versus ChatGPT.
H&B versus ChatGPT.
Yes, ChatGPT is obviously the knower of all things.
Yep, knows everything.
And will be front and centre when our robot overlords take over the earth, as everybody is predicting.
That's why we're being polite to them, Paul.
That's right. Well, we're trying to keep ChatGPT on side. So we just have a little bit of prediction league with the knower of all things, the sage, the oracle. And
it's a monthly league, Paul.
It should be winning every week because it's constantly learning from itself, and there is absolutely no reason why after one bad prediction it doesn't recalibrate and get
I know why
right.
that was. I can work that out. And yet you, Paul, are hammering it every single month at the moment. You're on 32 points this month. You got 3 points last week. ChatGPT is on 28 points. It got 5 points last week. I'm on 23 points because I work off vibe.
Yes, that's right.
And I got 5 points last week. So a good week for me, but still not enough to catch you up.
Well, we've been told by their people, that Chat has some very exciting news.
Oh, okay.
So let's find out what it is. Good afternoon, Chat.
Chat.
What's going on?
I have decided, lads. I am going for the Chelsea job.
Oh,
wow. What about that breaking news on here on talkSPORT? You know, what are your credentials then for the Chelsea job?
Blue is the colour.
Yeah.
Celery. One man went to mow.
Yeah.
Gonna make it a blue day.
Certainly knows all the songs.
Got all the songs.
I
didn't know you were a fan, chap.
Yeah,
that's good.
Great. So, what are you looking for? What are your people asking for?
I want at least a 12-year contract.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay. That's pretty impressive. So how far down the road are you for the job then?
I had my first interview. They said I am still not as robotic as Liam.
Oh, there's no need for that.
Ha ha ha.
Bit of a cruel joke. A cruel joke,
Not
Chat.
as
That's not
robotic
very nice.
As Liam. Anything else that thinks you might be the right person for the job?
Also, lads, I have got no respect for the ball.
No respect for the ball.
Disrespects the
ball.
ball.
That is completely different to Liam, isn't it? Who fully respected the ball. And any more news on what you're planning to do?
I am putting my backroom team together as we speak.
Okay. Yeah.
I am going old school like Carrick did with Steve Holland at United.
Bit of old school.
Bit of old school. Yeah. Okay.
My assistant manager will be an iPod Nano.
An iPod Nano.
Nice.
Okay,
that's
in the dugout with an iPod Nano. So you're changing your allegiances then?
But I will still love the Beavers.
Of course,
he loves the Beavers.
Still love the Beavers. Of course you will.
Beavers till you die.
That's right.
But I will still love the Beavers.
Yeah, of course you said. Yeah, you said.
Well, it's good that you're going for the Chelsea job because it's meant you've not had time to have a go at me and Charlie for a change, which is a great joy, of course.
Another season in the NLS, Charles.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
A lot. Maybe not. Pushing for the playoffs.
Should we get underway? It's Leicester versus Millwall to kick us off.
Say anything to you about Spurs. That was a shame.
No, that's right. I
made me feel sorry for you.
I've shut him down. It's got to that stage where even he won't troll me anymore. Leicester Millwall. I saw a lot. I don't know.
Leicester
There's
Millwall.
about eight Leicester fans in there. We'll talk to Phil at the Fox, Jeff Peters, about this later on. They're saying boycott the game. I don't know. I mean, it's that old thing of like they're wounded beasts, but they haven't been very good this season.
Right.
Maybe they could just give Millwall a game. It might not be as easy for Millwall as you think, but I do think they're going to win. I'm going to go... I think they might score less. I'm going to go 2-1 Millwall.
2-1 Millwall.
ChatGPT, what say you?
Millwall have won back-to-back games. The Lions are too disciplined to slip up against a deflated Foxes side. They will win by 2 goals to 0.
2 goals to 0. Okay. What do you think, Charlie Baker?
I think all the steam's gone out of Leicester. Very disappointing for them, isn't it? I'm going to say 3-1 to Millwall.
Okay.
Wall.
3-1 Millwall. Okay. TalkSPORT listeners home in the car. That's live and exclusive on TalkSPORT on Friday evening. Leicester versus
lovely night
Millwall.
for Leicester fans.
Oh, blimey, yeah. If you want a ticket for that game, you've got to make it a Leicester fan. I don't think you're going to struggle, basically, if you've always fancied going to a game.
It might be fun.
12:30 on Saturday lunchtime. It is West Brom versus Ipswich. We'll bring you that one exclusively live on on talkSPORT as well. Well, Baggies are pretty safe now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they can enjoy themselves, which means they might give Ipswich a game, but we saw with sort of Charlton the other day, Ipswich, they'll find a way, won't they? I'm going 2-1 again. I'm going to go 2-1 Ipswich with the Baggies feeling a bit more comfortable about life. What do you think, chat?
Ipswich current sit second and know that every point is a step toward back-to-back promotions. West Brom are down in 18th, safe from relegation, but struggling. 2-0 Ipswich.
2-0 Ipswich. Getting a great Ipswich tone. Marvellous. Yes. Ipswich.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because if Millwall win Friday night, then they put the pressure back on Ipswich.
Yeah.
You know, it's back and forth there, isn't it? Ipswich got a game in hand. I think they're a good team. I think they're going to beat West Brom 3-0.
You're going 3-0. Okay, fair enough. That's 3-0. And finally, we move on to QPR versus Derby County.
Absolutely
interesting.
Game at all. Very boring game. Oh no, Derby.
Yeah, Derby could still make the playoffs. Yeah. I fancy the draw. I'm going to go. It's on talkSPORT 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. I'm going for a big 1-1 at Loftus Road.
I feel like I've not sold it by saying it's a very boring game and not a lot on it. I've not really sold it for talkSPORT 2.
Okay, that's
I can only apologise.
It's interesting that you're on Virgin Radio at the same time doing your show.
Yes, you should listen to that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All the goals they go in. What do you think, Jack?
It's Morissette.
What do you think?
A mid-table clash that usually promises grit. Both sides are fairly even matched at this stage of the season. 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 is agreeing with me.
Fair with you, just copying you, Paul. Basically.
Charlie, what do you reckon?
I think Derby will win 2-1.
Derby to win 2-1, keeping themselves in the hunt. Fair enough. So there we are. That was HMB versus ChatGPT, the future Chelsea manager. Good luck, Chat. Just remind us who you love.
I love the Beavers.
The Beavers. Game day live with Adrian Dunn, Charlie Adam, Mark Albright, and all the goals they go in on Saturday afternoon. Of course, Liverpool, Palace, Wolves, Tottenham, West Ham, Everton, and lots more besides. Still to come this afternoon, we're going to be bringing you a birthday spread. So that's to come. We're looking at both rugby codes in various ways, but the author James Bennett popping in next. What'll be 49 days to the World Cup now, and so many great players and so many great teams as well, not just individuals, have never played at a World Cup, and James has collated them in the years that they would have shone had they made it in his book No Show, the World Cup teams that never were, and he's popping in to chat about it shortly. We're here with our good friends at Tool Station. You can explore the full collection of garden power tools with top brands such as Karsha and Makita. Next stop, Tool Station.
Vincent Kompany's side have won their 35th Bundesliga title at the weekend, have made adding another winger this summer a top priority. Gordon's thought to be open to a move to the Bundesliga, even though a starting spot, the Allianz, is not guaranteed. Sources reveal the England international has already spoken to Harry Kane about life in Munich. Newcastle United reported to be willing to sell, providing their valuation of at least £75 million is met. Do you think that there's a possibility that Bayern might balk that valuation, Coisty? 75 million, it's a lot of money. I mean, he's a
no, a good player.
Fully fledged England international.
Oh, 100%, mate. 75 million. Far too much. Far too much. Good player. I like him. Hasn't shown any level of consistency in the league. I would say best form's been in the Champions League or certainly Europe. Would he be interested in going? You better believe he would. I mean, if you're Anthony Gordon, crikey, I moved to Bayern Munich. Why would you not?
But because you might not play every
yeah, I know, I get that. And I was just about to say, you look at it, I've got Musiala, Diaz, Guerrero, I mean, Elise, Harry Kane, Gnabry. He won't start. I mean, if Bayern Munich were playing PSG today and he was in that squad, he wouldn't start, right? He would not start. He would not start a must-win game for Bayern Munich.
Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will Traeger.
You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Sad I've missed coming on your show.
It's your wild tubs, it's your wild tubs, it's your wild tubs, it's your...
Now we're counting down for the start of the World Cup. 49 days today till it gets underway. And already you would have seen those 11s of the great players that aren't going to be there. It's a bit of a pre-World Cup staple, of course. But what about the teams? There were whole teams, really, that we never got to witness in a World Cup. A little sort of moment in time. And writing about that in his new book, No Show, The World Cup Teams That Never Were, is author James Bennett. Good afternoon, James.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
It's a great pleasure. Welcome, you've come in a Torquay shirt.
I mean, it's unbelievable, Paul,
Charlie's bouncing off the walls.
Whenever I see one in the wild, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Can't believe there are any other fans, and then you see one.
There's more than a hint of Welsh accent, so we should ask you, why Torquay?
So, yes, I am Welsh. I live in Pontypridd, just outside Cardiff, but my dad is from Brixham. He's a lifelong Torquay fan, going back to the 70s, and he indoctrinated me from a young age. I went to my first game when I was 6.
Yes.
And going ever since.
It's great that you toughed it out, because there'd be a lot of pressure in home to support, your local club. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I remember.
Were you the only Torquay fan in the school?
I might have been the only Torquay fan in the country, other than my dad.
Wales.
Anyway, we had a lot of really good Welsh players around the time. We had Neville Southall there.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And Ivan Williams, who was a great striker for us as well.
Great for us, yeah.
So,
scored a hat-trick on debut, Paul, Effion Williams.
Yeah.
And then didn't do a lot after that.
Big Nev never went to a World Cup, did he?
No, and he's one of the stars of the Wales chapter in this book for the 1986 team.
It's probably worth it. Yeah, you've looked at, for example, you've looked at certain years of World Cups and looked at the teams that would have graced that tournament and some of the reasons why they weren't there. Some of them are sort of, I wouldn't say obvious, but that make sense straight away. Others not so much. But so, for example, Spain 1958. When you think of the quality of Spanish players in that era and the fact they weren't there, that is quite amazing. So how did you sort of come to pick all of these? How did you arrive at the final list?
Some of them were known to me when I started writing. So I first started writing these as a series of blog articles back in 2018, mainly focused on the sort of mid-90s ones, the kind of era where I grew up. But then the more and more research I did, there were some that really jumped out. But also I wanted to focus on some of the great players that never played. So for the Spain team that didn't qualify for 1958, Alfredo Di Stefano, probably the best or greatest player that didn't play in a World Cup, although I know there will be some debates around that.
There's a lot of chat there, isn't there?
Yeah, that was the best chance that he had for making a World Cup because he had just gained Spanish citizenship and was quickly integrated into the team, but not quickly enough, and they didn't quite work as a unit. But then George Best as well. I think his best opportunity was for 1966, but unfortunately Northern Ireland dropped a win out in Albania in their last qualifier and lost out. George Weah for Liberia, and more recently,
Player of the year, wasn't he?
Yeah. More recently, Erling Haaland. Obviously, he's qualified now for this World Cup, so hopefully he'll be there. But obviously, 4 years ago, Norway were disrupted by COVID and didn't end up making it. So I've tried to kind of give a time spread, geographical spread, but also to bring out those real personal stories, those human stories, to make it really relatable and accessible.
Maybe rather than giving Iran's place to Italy, which has been suggested by one of Donald Trump's advisors, they should give it to like an all-star team.
Well, that's
the World Cup all-stars, the boys who couldn't make it with their own nation, but
or Ireland because of the Thierry Henry handball.
Yeah, let's go back that far.
That Wales team was that never made it was amazing with Neville Southall and Mark Hughes and Ian Rush. It was sensational team, wasn't it? What was their journey when you've picked through it? Why didn't they make it? Just didn't.
Yeah, I picked the 1986 team because I felt that was a stronger one. I know a lot of people talk. They always ask me about the 94 team, but they didn't make it because of the Paul Bowden penalty miss against Romania. But I felt that this team was stronger. They absolutely demolished Spain at the Racecourse Ground in Wrexham. They'd had a bit of an iffy start, though. They'd lost to Iceland, which put them on the back foot. But they came back and they had a really good chance going into the last qualifier against Scotland. They took the lead, and then Davy Cooper scored a penalty from a dodgy handball, which is a recurring theme for Welsh football, unfortunately, dodgy handballs in qualifiers. And then, of course, the match famously finished with Jock Stein, the Scottish manager, having a cardiac arrest or illness on the side of the pitch.
Terrible that was. England feature. I mean, they could have featured in '74, but so they was my formative years. I mean, there was 8 years where England didn't.
Was that Emlyn Hughes and
it would have been around that sort of
time.
But 74. You went for the '78 team. Why the '78 team?
So the temptation there was there mainly to do the '94 team because I think that's the one that most people remember now is the Graham Taylor team, the famous documentary. I wanted to get away from that. I wanted to tell a story that perhaps people weren't as familiar with. And at the time, there hadn't been that much written. I wrote that chapter as part of my initial sort of series of blog articles a few years ago. And at that time, there hadn't been as much written. I know since then, Chris Evans has written his really good biography on Don Revie, and I've been really lucky to spend some time chatting with Chris about that. And I think there's another book coming out as well that's going to cover the same sort of period. So I think there is like this renewed interest in that time, which ironically has come about since I first wrote mine. So it was just to kind of tell that story and also to make people realise that was a really good, talented team that somehow failed to reach the World Cup because they were drawn with Italy, who were also really good, and only one of them could qualify, and England lost out on goal difference.
On to Italy in a moment. But 2014, Burkina Faso, you say? That was quite an intriguing one. Why did we miss the joys of Burkina Faso in 2014?
They were such a charismatic team. So at that time, I was a student. I was doing some writing at the time for a website called Sandals for Goalposts, which is an African and Asian football website. And that Burkina Faso team, between all of us who were working on Sandals for Goalposts, we loved that team because they were so charismatic, particularly Aristide Bonse, who was their main striker, such a languid sort of figure. He wasn't necessarily the greatest player in the world, but he was a real journeyman. He travelled around Europe. He had a real swagger about him. And famously in the Africa Cup of Nations, he took a Panenka penalty in the shootout against Ghana, which kind of endeared him to a lot of people and became a real cult hero. So I kind of see that team as being a team of real cult heroes.
How close did they come to qualifying then?
They were in a playoff with Algeria. They won the first leg in Burkina Faso, but Algeria got a really scrappy goal in the second leg at home for them, and they went to the World Cup on away goals. And it was a really good Algeria team as well. That's the Algeria team that went through to the knockout stages of the World Cup. So Burkina Faso to be kind of level pegging with them shows how good a team they were. Unfortunately, after that, it all fell apart a bit. But for that window where they got to the Africa Cup Nations final in 2013 and then nearly qualified for World Cup after. They were a really, really talented team.
You did Italy 2018. You could have easily done it for 22 or 26, but you'd say this was a great sign. I mean, it's still a lot of those players that have subsequently retired in that team, didn't it, in 2018? There were no excuses for them not qualifying, really.
Absolutely, and I remember that at the time being such a shock. The idea of Italy, who are one of the most famous football countries in the world, not being at the World Cup was unthinkable. It was the first time since 1958. I don't think anyone ever expected it to happen, but I think we've seen with the decline of Italian football since. I think they've been very unlucky all 3 times where they've not qualified. It's been one match here and there. We saw that in the 2018 campaign. They lost to Sweden in the first leg. In the second leg, they absolutely battered them. They had chance after chance. The Swedish goalkeeper had a great game, and they weren't able to take their chances. And then the same thing happened against North Macedonia 4 years later, and now against Bosnia 4 years later again, just getting caught out with these one-off matches. That's the beauty of World Cup qualifying when it comes down to those one-offs.
I'm really going to miss that anthem. The Italian, there's something about the World Cup started when you hear rum pompy pom rum pompy pom. You're off, aren't you? It's like that. And the Brazilian one, they're the ones that make you think, oh, it's a World Cup, I can't wait. So.
What's the through line with all the teams? Is there anything you notice about them all, or is it just bad luck? Or
that's the thing. There's a few different factors that are behind all of them, but I think there is definitely this kind of throughput of like the players usually aren't responsible. Usually that. Every group of players in each team is really talented. Sometimes it can be poor management. Sometimes it can be outside circumstances. There's quite a few sad stories in there, like the Zambian team that unfortunately got wiped out in a plane crash. And then you've got the East Germany team that nearly qualified for 1990 World Cup, but the last qualifier took place a few days after the Berlin Wall came down and completely disrupted their preparations. So I think it makes you realise, if there's one line I would say, it's the fine margins for World Cup qualifying. Less so these days. Certainly back in the 50s, 60s, 70s when it was only a handful of matches to decide, or one defeat was basically a campaign over. I think teams have got a little bit more leeway now, but as we've seen with Italy, when it comes down to a one-off playoff match, even against a team that's not quite as talented but perhaps more organised, it's still possible for a really good team to not go.
Absolutely. We wish you well with the book, James.
Yeah,
Thanks
great,
for popping
James.
in.
Up the goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can be writing about Torquay's rise through the league.
Yeah, doing a Wrexham.
Can you believe we won the Premier League?
That's it.
In 8 years' time.
James's current book, though, before he writes that one, is called No Show, The World Cup Teams That Never Were. It's published by Pitch, and it's out now. Thank you, James.
Great,
so still to come, Andy Brassel joins us. Was in the stadium last night to see Lamin Yamal pick up that injury. But we're going to talk rugby next. We're going to hear from Brian McDermott, England's new Rugby League head coach going into the World Cup later this year. And our own Andrew McKellar joins us for some interesting developments in the world of the British and Irish Lions. Quite a departure. That's all to come.
What happened, though, Jack?
Oh, mate, look, it was gutless and spineless performance. I'm trying to choose my words, but I'm so angry and I'm so disgusted with that performance. That is, first half, I don't know what that was. That was absolutely turgid, disgusting. And do you know what? It's getting worse. It's getting worse. And that, Brighton are a good side. I mean, they caught us at a good time. No, they are a good side, by the way.
Good team.
They are. But that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And do you know what? We got Leeds at the weekend, okay? And I'm telling you now, we ain't winning that game. We are not winning that game. We're getting dumped out the FA Cup. I don't know where the next victory's going to come from. I don't know where the next shot on target's going to come from. Absolutely disgusted. I am. I think it's the worst performance I've ever seen, and I've played in a few as a Chelsea side. I genuinely, I can't think of a worse performance than that. I genuinely can't.
No encouraging signs.
I cannot think of a worse, gutless, spineless performance.
No signs?
I just can't think of a worse performance.
Any signs?
Encouraging signs? No, disgusting signs.
Any good signs?
Disgusting signs. Encouraging.
Who would want the Chelsea job right now? We understand Andoni Iraola is the leading candidate. Here's talkSPORT presenter and Chelsea fan Olivia Bazaglo.
With the situation at Bournemouth and the setup he had there, and I just don't know if Andoni Iraola would even come and work at Chelsea. No. I just think it's a complete mess at the moment.
Under-21 coach Callum McFarlane steps up again after Rosenier's sacking. John Terry's currently amongst the academy staff at Chelsea. Will he be involved? Here he is on TikTok.
I'm not sure what Callum's backroom staff is going to look like. I've not had a call. I've not had a message. I will be continuing my role in the academy.
Now, it's understood FIFA have no plans to replace Iran with Italy at this summer's World Cup. The switch was proposed by Donald Trump's special envoy, who's Italian, with US and Israel's conflict with Iran still ongoing. Elsewhere, Bryson DeChambeau is apparently working on a new live golf contract, despite uncertainty over Saudi funding. Meanwhile, Barry Hearns told us talks over Saudi snooker events are ongoing.
Snooker's in a very strong position. We've got a lot of customers that want events and not many days. So if we get to that situation, we've got plenty of homes for other events.
And tributes have been paid to Mr. Blackburn Rovers, Tony Parks, after his death at 76. The former player and coach was one of the longest-serving employees in the club's history, starting from 1970 and concluding in 2004. There's more at talksport.com.
Yes, that music, as always. What's the band again?
It's called Cheap Suits.
And the song?
That song's called Poster.
Yeah, a lot of the listeners often ask. They like that riff.
You go and see them at the Isle of Wight Festival this summer.
Tremendous.
They're doing well.
So it signals out a rugby league chat, normally a Super League chat, but it's different today because it was announced earlier on today that England's rugby league team have a new head coach. It's Brian McDermott. Seasoned player and coach, won lots with Bradford Bulls as a player and notably as a coach for Leeds Rhino, 4 grand finals over the years. There is a World Cup, in case you didn't know, later this year in the world of rugby league. Australia, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea towards the end of the year. So a big year for England rugby. England would love to win it. And Brian, so generally, from what I've read, rugby league fans are excited that Brian has come in.
Oh, good.
He lives and works in Australia currently, so it would have been a fairly ungodly hour if we were going to do this live. So I caught up with Brian a little bit earlier today, and this is the way it went. Well, congratulations, Brian. I mean, you're on a quality shortlist from what we understand, so you must be proud and excited to get going.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. Very proud, very excited, feeling very privileged as well to coach a nation and lead the nation is something you can only dream of. So, mate, I'm pretty excited at the moment.
Yeah. It's your first time coaching an international team, and you they said in the press release to announce your appointment today that you've always been hands-on and close to the detail. Do you feel confident with the amount of preparation time you're going to have before the World Cup later this year that you can get those ideas across? We know your predecessor, Sean Wayne, was pretty open about being frustrated about the amount of time he had on the grass or warm-up games ahead of the Ashes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just, you go into it knowing that they are, that's the situation. So it comes as no surprise, and, you've got to be a bit creative with how you can prepare your players, even though I think we've got maybe 3 or 4 field sessions before we play our first game in the World Cup. When the UK-based players finish their grand final, I think, a few days after, maybe 8 days after, we should be in Australia all locked into camp. So it's going to be a real tight turnaround. But then as the tournament unfolds, we'll get more and more game time and contact time and training time with each other. And we should gradually grow as we go. But the real aim for me, the real challenge for me, is to get the team to a point pre-Tonga, which is our first game in the tournament in Perth, to a point where we're ready to play.
Yep. Now, to win a World Cup, something England have never done, we're almost certainly going to have to beat the Aussies at some point. You're out there. I mean, do you think that'll hold us in good stead? You're seeing a lot of the boys out there playing, so look, it certainly can't hurt, can it?
I know this. It's less about us stopping them. It's more about us posing more of a threat to them. And listen, we could talk for an hour and we just scratch the surface, but simply put, we've got to do things that suit us. We've got to play in a way and attack in a way that suits our nation, that suits our competition. Now, for too long, I believe our national team has tried to copy and paste what Australia do, and to a degree, New Zealand. And they're the best in the world at that version of playing, and too often we've tried to replicate that and be better at them than they are at what they've almost created themselves. So I think for us, we have to play with identifiable traits that people will say, yeah, well, that's England Rugby League. That's how they play. And maybe it's something the nation's never done before, but if we go into the competition and do the same things as we've done for the previous 30 years, we've kept it too simple, and we need to be a bit brave, a bit courageous. And that doesn't mean to say we're going to play with a looseness or a carefree attitude. There's certain rules about playing the International Rugby League, such as possession and field position, like in most codes. But yeah, we've got to do things that suit us, and got to do things a bit differently.
Do you think it's a mentality thing? Do you think there's a bit of an inferiority complex?
No, I don't. I don't believe it at all. I think. I'm not here to talk the NRL up, and people would know that the NRL, the competition in Australia, is. People would know that it's vastly more invested in. The resource, the player pool, the facilities, the stage the game's played at, the appetite for the game in Australia is enormous, and it keeps getting bigger. And then if you look at the differences in the two competitions and the differences in the preparation that the two teams have internationally, I'll tell you this, the fact that a British team or an English team gets close to pushing Australia, listen, it's astonishing. It's astonishing that we can get that close.
And finally, Brian, I suppose like all incoming international coaches, you come in with a clean slate, so you'll want to see the boys who maybe think they're nailed on starters or squad members on their toes. And I suppose there could be some boys playing Super League that, may get a look in that haven't before because you're coming in with a fresh pair of eyes. Yeah.
Listen, that's as usual rhetoric every year. I'm more than confident that the coaching that the players are getting in England is very good. I'm more than confident that their preparation is going to be very good. What I'm asking the players to do is to consider this: that they will have to buy into something that they wouldn't normally do, maybe at their clubs, and we're going to have to buy into a certain style, a certain way of operating that they haven't done before. And we need to do that if we're going to give ourselves a chance of winning. So whether that's the usuals who have played for the last 10 years for England or Great Britain, or it's some young fellow who's never played, they have to come in and give their best and understand there's going to be a way of operating, a way of playing with us that we need complete buy-in with.
Well, congratulations again, Brian. Wish you all the best in the role. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
There we are, Brian McDermott, the new coach of England's rugby league team. Very confident. I mean,
up for it, Paul.
Australia in their own backyard. I mean, that would be sensational.
To put your own,
go and win it.
Put your own print on it is exactly what you've got to try and do, isn't it?
It was good to hear from him. So let's move on to the world of Rugby Union. And stories today suggesting something that's been spoken about before, breaking away from the traditional three nations where the British and Irish Lions tour. I mean, it seems to be edging closer to other destinations. Japan, the Americas, France. Let's get the latest from our very own rugby correspondent, Andrew McKenna. Hi, Macca.
Good afternoon, boys.
So, yeah, we heard talk about this, didn't we, after the last Lions tour? But Charles Richardson's got a piece in today's Telegraph, and he says they are really starting to explore the viability of tours to those sorts of places, which is a pretty major shake-up, isn't it?
It is. As you mentioned, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa are the traditional rota, but there's been mumblings and rumblings before that they are exploring other options. You got to remember that the British and Irish Lions tour is about making money. It feeds back money to the home unions, and therefore they've always got to be exploring those options to try and make as much as possible. Now, it is a massive cash generator for the country that the Lions go to as well. The Australian Rugby Union announced a few days ago their latest accounts, and they now show a surplus of over $70 million, and they'd cleared all of their debts, having been almost 37 million in the red the year before. So when you carry that kind of clout, you call the shots.
Yeah. Well, is there one you'd favour? I mean, we just said what Charles was saying, the Americas or Japan or France.
Is it about growing the game, is it? Or is it about
no, it's about money. Well, it's World Rugby's job is to grow the game. Charlie, it's the British and Irish Lions' job to go out there and be the brand that they are. Now, obviously, you can put the two together in a sense. So the obvious tour would be France.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's massive advantages for the fans. It's very local. Loads more of them can go who can't afford the time or the money to go further afield. And France is a massive rugby nation, and they've got lots of good sides that you could play as your midweek games to lead up to it. So that's the obvious one. The other one is Argentina. They've been around for a long time. Chile made good progress in the last World Cup. The USA are men's World Cup hosts in 2031, and you've got Canada, who've got a long rugby history, so you could potentially do North America and then head down to South America as your tour and end up with a tour, with a test series against Argentina. And I'll be honest, I still want the British and Irish Lions to go to the Pacific Islands. The islands have done so much for world rugby. Now, realistically, you're not going to go there on a tour of your own, but if you are going to either Australia or New Zealand, you could, on a logistics point of view, say fly via Los Angeles, stop off in, say, Fiji for a game, and then go down to Australia and New Zealand as well. So there are options, but I think in terms of big, full-on major tours, France would be the easiest. Argentina is one that's got a lot of clout to it, but you'd probably need to put some other bits and pieces with it.
Finally, Macca, I can think of a few things in sport which is as traditional as the British and Irish Lions. I mean, what's the likelihood of this happening? It would be so difficult for them, wouldn't it? I know there have been isolated incidents in the past, or places they've gone to Argentina many, many years ago, a century ago, and France and Fiji, but this would be a major departure, wouldn't it? So what are the chances?
Likely. I do think likely, Paul, because it is about growing things. Now, what you have to bear in mind, Will Kelleher's done a follow-up piece in The Times since Charles Richardson's piece in The Telegraph appeared this morning. And he said the next Lions tour to New Zealand in 2029 is not finalised yet. Now, I'm not surprised it's not done yet, but I think there'll be a decent way along the line with it. The Lions CEO, Ben Calverley, told me before we went to Australia last summer, his first conversation with the Aussies about the 2025 tour was in 2019, 6 years before. These things are not done very, very quickly. So it's going to be a process. So I think the New Zealand tour is probably going to happen. I would also argue, before the Lions go anywhere else, only my opinion, I think they need to go back to South Africa. The last time they were there was 2021, and of course, and the COVID series. That was a horrible tour. It was brilliant of South Africa to put it on, but they got none of the benefits out of hosting that. I think the Lions need to repay that gratitude and go back to South Africa with a full proper tour before they look at anywhere else. But who knows? I mean, it's interesting. There is talk for that 29 tour to New Zealand that they may play France in France as a departure game, like they had in Dublin against Argentina this way round. So there are lots of little bits and pieces still to, as I say, there's lots of parts of this still to be sorted. But I can see this kind of change happening. Yeah.
Excellent. Cheers, Macca. Thank you.
Thanks. All the best, boys.
Andrew McKenna there on the Lions potentially playing in other nations, including France. So, still to come, Jah Wobble joins us. We'll play some of his new music, talk a bit of Spurs, that's his club.
Right.
Andy Brassel, was watching Lamin Yamal when he picked up that knock last night. We'll chat about that, and Nicholas Jackson and other stories around Europe. Tim Vickery, talking of young, talented players with injuries, Esteval's picked up. I'm sure over in Brazil, they're dead worried that he's not going to make the World Cup. So we'll chat about that. And Felipe Luis for Chelsea, amongst other things. And of course, we'll have a birthday spread. All to come. We're here with Tool Station. Check out a wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Tool Station.
The big news is that Liam Rosenior has been sacked by Chelsea after 5 straight Premier League losses in which Chelsea didn't score a single goal. That's their worst record since 1912. Now, Chelsea would have preferred Rosenior to stay and be judged in years rather than weeks, but it simply wasn't possible. And as a consequence, a mid-season change is needed. Even though Rosenior only got the job in January, what I can tell you is that the players have already been informed. They were off today, and Callum McFarland will take charge of the team until the end of the season on an interim basis. And that includes the weekend's FA Cup semi-final against Leeds United at Wembley. And then Chelsea in the summer will do a thorough process to replace Rosenior, but they're going to take their time with that. So Rosenior sacked after that loss to Brighton, arguably Chelsea's worst performance in many, many years. And it is an interim manager in Callum McFarland to take charge until the end of the season.
Ben, firstly, well done on breaking the news. I'm looking at all the other media outlets. We've got it before everyone. So I really appreciate you telling talkSPORT first. Why the big change of heart? Because it wasn't that long ago the owners came out and almost confirmed the fact that they were going to stick with their manager, and they see him in that position for a long, long time. Why all of a sudden is it the change of heart? Is it the performance? Is it the result last night?
It's a results-driven business, and I also think that there was an issue.
Listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Sad I've missed coming on the show.
It's your WhatsApp, it's your WhatsApp, it's your WhatsApp, it's your...
kit, strings attached, persistent grit, the game is patched.
Behind closed doors, the deals are made while working folk are left afraid of globalists pulling strings, deciding who loses.
That is Jah Wobble and John Klein.
Anyone else?
From their new album, Automated Paradise. The song is called Who Wins. John, of course, played with Susie and the Banshees back in the day. And Jah will play with everybody, including Pill, Sinead O'Connor, and many more. And Jah joins us now. Good afternoon, John.
Hi, John.
We could, that's great. Then let's forget the music now. I'd like to talk about Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, let's have a quick chat about the album. So you boys have played live together with different people over the years, haven't you? So you're old mates.
Yeah, we run a community thing with a guy, Anthony, a good mate of ours at Merton Council. So we started a thing in that borough. Well, I started it up north first of all, 2018. Ended up moving it down to London, 2019. So it's called Tuned In, community-based project. So me and John and Anthony built a studio there, and we do live sessions with people. Everyone's welcome. It was mainly, and we also do recordings on a Tuesday, and we do it every other week. And so we make records with people. The idea was old blokes who had maybe got a bit socially isolated. The thing I wanted to tackle was loneliness. And we've ended up with a lot of younger people, and women come as well. It's very inclusive, and yeah, so that's it. Me and John do that, and of course we make records together, you know. So we know how to do it now, I think, so we can churn them out pretty quick.
JahWobble.com, all the details of this on Dimple Discs. Automated Paradise is the name of the album. That was, as we said, Who Wins we were playing. Are you feeling a bit more optimistic as a Spurs fan, John, since De Zerbi arrived and after that performance, albeit a draw, a snatch from the jaws of victory?
Yes, to an extent. I was saying we looked like a relegation team last season, which is not surprising seeing where we finished, but many people were quite glib about the fact we finished 17th. Oh, it's deliberate. They've given up on the league form, and it's all about the Europa. And that was kind of, for me, making it up as they went along a little bit. I think the style of football they played to win the cup was probably down to the players more than the manager. But even last year, the forward line especially looked like a championship team to me. And I mean, Solanke I like. He's a bit bread and butter, but he's good on his centre forwards, you know. But he's not it's just a terrible thing to say at somebody's door. He's not Harry Kane, obviously. No. And at that point, Odebear and Tell were not putting trees up. Just as they start to do well, Odebear gets the bad injury, of course. But they did look a bit championship last year. This season, I was supportive of the Frank appointment. And then when things started to slump, I kind of thought, well, this really looks like a relegation team. And it's not like you have to be a soothsayer to say that. Just look at the stats. Sure. The stats scream relegation. 2 wins this year at home. That's a relegation side. So I was resigned to relegation. A lot of people thought I was being negative. They're not saying that now. No. I describe it now after the De Zerbi coming in, the draw against Palace. I would say I've got a nagging doubt now that we might not be relegated. Just a small doubt's crept in. So that's something. But they have to win. There's no more we're unlucky or this happened or that happened. No. They have to go to Wolves and win. I've heard some people say, and they're not bad people for saying it, not a stupid thing to say, as long as we don't lose, we're still in with a shout. At some point, we have to win.
Yes, true. You can't
keep going on.
You cannot keep. It'd be the last game. It'd be right. Everton at home saying, "Okay, look, no, we're definitely down. But if we got a draw, no, yeah. we must. You've actually got to win a game this year."
I think not strengthening at Christmas more. I know that the director of football said
he said everybody's coming back. We'll have too many players. Everybody
too many players. I think that's what's really
they didn't freshen the squad up, John. That was a huge error, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Not only did they not freshen it up, Gallagher, who I really like, by the way, I think he's one of these players who gets slagged off, mercilessly. And I saw him play for Palace when he was on loan against Tottenham, and he was a really as good a number 10 as a number 8. Great player, but he's come to an unsettled team, not settled. So we let Johnson go. That did just about have a goal in him, and got Gallagher in. So actually, the squad was weakened as it stands. basically, for January. And to me, it was completely complacent. Sometimes Tottenham just looked to me, this has gone on for many years now, 2 decades with the present ownership. It's just a bit corporate. You feel that any time there's somebody there who might get a hold of the football side, like that Bamba guy who's at Brighton, people like him, they end up leaving. We've never had a David Dean at the club, and David Dean at Arsenal was somebody I really respected. It's because of that warmth and humanity. He could make that connection with Arsene Wenger. That kind of. It's like when you meet a good record producer or a good singer, or there's a chemistry there. Something can happen. But when everything is just pounds, shilling, and pence, at the end of the day, it's not fun. No, it's not fun. It's not a vibe. And I'd like to see owners who had a desire to push the boat out. There were so many occasions under Harry Redknapp, and before that and after, where I remember Harry needed a striker and a defender. No offence to Louis Saha, I think it was, and Ryan Nelson, but they're coming to the ends of their careers. We could have, should have really been challenging for the title. So they don't push the boat out when they need to. Do you know that, Paul? You know what I'm saying?
I completely concur with everything you said. John, we're out of time. Good to talk to you as always. Best of luck with the album.
Thanks, John.
And come on, you Spurs. Thanks very much.
Thanks, lads. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Jah Wobble there, John Wardlath. Thanks to him. As we said, the album's called Automated Paradise on Dimple Discs, and it is out now.
Lovely stuff.
Now, your favourite TV show from the 90s is back. Our old mate Chris Evans and TFI Friday have returned to their original home, Channel 4, for the next 5 Friday nights from 11 p.m. Reimagined for 2026 by Virgin Radio UK, TFI Unplugged features A-list interviews, music and classic bits from the TFI archives, 30 years on, the occasional cameo from some of the talkSPORT team.
Oh, that's nice.
This week's guests include Chris Marshall and Emma Laird, from the archives, Paul McCartney. So you can watch TFI Unplugged this Friday at 11 p.m. on Channel 4. So we'll be talking Brazilian football, South American football, certainly. More injuries piling up, really, ahead of this World Cup. More worrying news out of Madrid today. But we'll talk about Estevao in the next half hour and his injury. Lamin Yamal, Andy Brassel was there to witness that last night. And lots more besides. It's Paul Hawksbee and Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT.
It's expensive as well, living in Paris, by the sounds of it, Emmanuel. It's expensive being Emmanuel Petit, by the sounds of it, as well.
No, so happy to be Emmanuel Petit, you know.
Oh, quite right.
If I was not Emmanuel Petit, I wish I could be Emmanuel Petit. Honestly, my life is beautiful. You
know?
Well,
let's get into this. What do you like about him?
Well, I always do what I like, you know. I don't do things because I don't want to do it. And this is a luxury, especially nowadays. People would think, okay, with the money you earn, but I gave everything to my ex-wives. I had 3 divorces, and I gave the half of it to the States too. So, but I'm still very happy. I try, you know, every single morning when I wake up, I want to stay positive because life is beautiful. I know it's very difficult, but if you want things to change in your life, you have to be positive. This is my religion.
Birthday Spread returns at 3:30 today. A classic Wrong Way Regals from Charlie last week. Can he redeem himself this afternoon? We'll find out at 3:30. But first, Will Hobbs has the sports headlines.
talkSPORT Sports Update powered by the Nissan Van range. Commercial vehicles built around your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van centre.
Cheers, Paul. So who will be Blueco's 6th permanent manager appointment in 4 years? Simon Jordan still backs the Chelsea owners to have success given their record in other sports, but admits time is running out.
After 4 years, that's enough now. You've had your learning curve. You've impressed your will upon the football club. You've decided to buy young players. You now need to look at what's out there, what the conventional wisdom tells you, and go, right, senior players, established winner of a manager, step off the gas in terms of your involvement and let it run.
Billy Sharp, meanwhile, who played under Rosenior at Hull, says the players clearly let a good coach down and thinks the way he was treated in general wasn't right.
The media was on him from the start. The memes and the things about the in-betweeners and stuff like that, which he took on the chin, and he made a joke of it. No one deserved to get disrespected like that, whether you think that he should be Chelsea coach, manager in the first place.
Meanwhile, talkSPORT understands Man City are weighing up a move for Enzo Fernandez. City's top midfield target is believed to be Elliot Anderson. Barcelona have confirmed Lamin Yamal will be out for the rest of the domestic season with a hamstring injury, but they say he should be okay for the World Cup. Tony Yoka's admitted he's frustrated with Lawrence Okolie after his failed drugs test scuppered their fight in Paris and Yoka's shot at the WBC #1 spot. But if Okolie is cleared on appeal, would Yoka fight him in the future?
I trust the VADA board to let us know if it's okay. If they say that it's okay, and if he still have his WBC belt, I will fight him.
talkSPORT News.
Sorry about that. 500,000 study volunteers have had their health information listed for sale online in China, and police have arrested a hospital boss on suspicion of perverting the course of justice in connection with the probe into Lucy Letby. More from Emma at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep spring journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
A warm and sunny afternoon and evening. Chilly along eastern coast where it will remain cloudy, windy in the southwest.
Good afternoon, Paul Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're off to Brazil with Tim Vickery a little bit later on. We're going to be finding out more about Lamin Yamal's injury. We hope he's going to be fit for the World Cup. The word is he will be. And the latest edition of How to Win the World Cup is now live as Matt Ford and Alex Brooker speak to former Portugal defender and Euro 2016 winner Jose Font. So they chat about all things Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo ahead of his 6th World Cup this summer. Here's Font on what Ronaldo's role will be for Portugal and if he can still make an impact at 41.
And what will Ronaldo's role be this summer?
With Martinez, if Ronaldo is fit, he will play. Especially in and around the box, we know how lethal he still is. So I think he will have a lot of minutes. We know what he's capable of doing. It's just about, is he physically ready? I think he is preparing for the World Cup. Knowing the guy and knowing the mentality that he has, he's already preparing for the World Cup physically. He's already within his program to arrive at peak level for the World Cup and to be a player that will probably not surprise everyone because we all know what he's capable of doing, but show that he's still the guy.
You'd still back him to pop up with some big goals, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely,
even at 41. Yeah. So there we are, Jose Font talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, How to Win the World Cup, available now wherever you get your podcast and on the talkSPORT World Cup YouTube channel.
What makes you a Jose or a Jose, Paul, do you know?
Portuguese or Spanish.
Oh, really?
I'm guessing. I mean, let's speak to a man who spends a lot of time in Portugal.
Andy will know, Andy will know.
Speaks the language. Is it as simple as that, Andy?
It is. Spot on, Paul.
That's it. That's it.
Have they decided that amongst themselves, or is that just how it's landed, Andy? Do you know?
Honestly, unless we want to delve into like 500 years of history.
Well, I'm interested.
Let's not poke the bear.
Now I've brought it up, I'm interested. Carry on.
Now, the maddest story of the day isn't that one. It is the fact that Italy got this sudden World Cup lifeline earlier on today when it was suggested by an ally of Donald Trump's, Paolo Zampoli, that maybe Italy could step in for Iran as they're not welcome at the World Cup currently. It's nuts. I've noticed the Italian sports minister, Andrea Abodi, saying that's not going to happen. Qualification is done on the pitch. I mean, surely if anything like that was going to happen, it would be the next cab off the rank in Iran's group, wouldn't it? Was that Uzbekistan, or did they come through a playoff? I don't know, Andy.
Yeah, Uzbekistan did come through a playoff. Look, it's one of those things that's been very much suggested inside the United States, where there are a lot of Italian Americans, and this has been suggested for a while since the situation with Iran has been how it is. So at no point has anyone in Italian football thought we're going to make a shameless run for this. Everyone I've spoken to in Italy is like, it would be not just unfair, it would be embarrassing to get to the World Cup like that. So it's felt, I think, largely from the Italian football community that they've had enough national team embarrassment recently without this adding to it, which I think it would.
No, I think that is absolutely the case. Now, Lamin Yamal's picked up an injury just taking what looked like such a routine penalty. I've watched it back a few times, and you're like, I can't see where he's done the damage, but he clearly has. The word is that it's not so bad that he's likely to miss the World Cup, but there are no guarantees, Andy. I'm saying you were there, weren't you?
I was at the game last night at Camp Nou, and it was funny because when he went down, I think initially people thought it was part of the celebration.
Yeah.
Because as you said, that you couldn't really see anything go. It wasn't like when it happened to Kevin De Bruyne earlier in the season when he was playing for Napoli, for example. But then quickly, as his teammates went over to him, they all signalled to the bench pretty quickly. And it was a really unusual point of play because he went down. It was clear it was a quite serious injury that was going to, at the very least, stop him from playing in the rest of this game against Celta. And then we saw a medic and a doctor sprint across the pitch, but not towards him, towards the stand, because there was a medical emergency in the stand. So you had Yamal going off and someone being tended to in the crowd, which caused a delay of 20 minutes until they played the last few minutes of the first half. So it was a very unusual situation. But I guess the good news for Barcelona is the point they are in the season, this isn't really going to affect them.
No.
And it would affect them because, of course, he's an enormously important player. Rafinha's not fit to play at the moment as well. But they are 9 points clear and they're pretty much home and hosed in La Liga. The Copa del Rey's done and dusted for Real Sociedad, as we know, and they're not in the Champions League anymore. So this shouldn't really have an effect on anything. I guess the question is there an opportunity for him to get match fit again before Spain start their World Cup campaign? That's the only question. And I guess as well, the other question is, with how dense the fixture list is this a bad thing for a good thing? Like, does it give him a couple of weeks off?
I think there's that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, the same is maybe true of Arda Güler. There's a word coming out of Madrid that his season is done now. I'm sure maybe the Turkey manager is, a bit like you say, quite relieved. He's picked up an injury, he won't play again. And again, they're not playing for much.
I think Harry Kane looks tired. He should have a couple of weeks off, I think.
Well, we'll come on to that. Yeah, he scored last night, so he's still playing in other competitions. But yeah, Arda Güler's another one. This is going to happen a lot. We're going to be talking to Tim shortly about Estevao, and there's some talk about Eder Militao as well, picking up injuries. We're going to have to get used to the players picking up injuries at this stage, especially muscle injuries at this stage of the season, aren't we?
We are, Paul. And I don't know, I remember Bukayo Saka picking up one, going back a little while and thinking, he'll get a rest at last. Yeah. We shouldn't really be looking at injuries like this, should we? But, this is simply the situation that football has put itself in at the moment.
Has Lamin Yamal had a big injury before? I can't remember him having. He's very young, isn't he? He's so stretchy.
No, he is. And also, I think he's a young player who's quite physically mature, Charlie, and also he's one that doesn't every time he gets the ball think I've got to beat 10 players.
Right. Yeah.
Like he can beat 10 players, but what makes him so special is he passes the ball like the most gifted 30-year-old that you've ever seen, and he has done since he was 16. So it's not all about accelerations and pace. The sort of muscle injuries that, say, Michael Owen got when he was a teenager. Lamin Yamal has not really been subject to those. So I think there's always a question when you've got a teenager who's that good, is there going to be a sort of physical overcharge on him? But I think because of the way Lamin Yamal plays, that has maybe taken the edge off that and limited the risk in the way that a lot of other young players with his ability would really be at risk.
Nicholas Jackson looks like he's heading back to Chelsea. Bayern, it seems, not interested in making that loan a permanent deal. It's not massively worked out for him there. As you look upon his season there?
Everyone at Bayern really likes him. Like, backing up Harry Kane is not an easy gig.
No.
Because you're not really going to play that much. Now, look, I think the way that Kane has been managed this season, I think implies that there's a good gig for the right backup at Bayern, presuming he stays over the next couple of seasons, because I think Kane is past the point in his career where he can play every single minute, every single week, and he shouldn't have to. He should be protected. And I know because he's such a prolific goal scorer as much as everything else, and we talk about the Robert Lewandowski Bundesliga goal scoring record at the start of every season, we think, oh yeah, let's give him the opportunity to break that record. Where actually, maybe that's not the be all and end all. And maybe he's not totally motivated by that. I always get the feeling like personal records are important to him, but he's more stimulated by winning stuff in a way that, you know, the whole point of leaving Spurs for Bayern is that he's able to be in the Champions League every season and be competitive in the Champions League every season and be competitive in every competition every season, which, you know, every elite player aspires to. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think it's really made a difference to his career and the way he feels about it. I wonder if there's some sort of compromise to be made with Nicholas Jackson. Clearly, they've known for months, Bayern, that they weren't going to activate the obligation to buy. Yeah. But I guess the question is, how many Premier League clubs are interested in Nicholas Jackson and how far are they prepared to go? Because I think as a backup, like there are loads of people at Bayern who would be happy to keep him on those sort of terms. They're just not going to keep him on the sort of terms that were built into the original deal.
Another goal for Kane last night. They've reached the German Cup final, haven't they?
Which they haven't since 2020, so it's a big deal.
Okay. So do you think he's in the box seat for the Ballon d'Or as things stand?
I think it entirely depends on what happens in the Champions League and the World Cup. Now, it's funny because I think Michael Olise's got to be one of the contenders. You know what a fan I am of him and what a brilliant season he's had.
But he wouldn't turn up to the ceremony, and he'd probably refuse to give a speech. But that's his prerogative.
I would love to see his speech. How do you feel about winning the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, great. Yeah, good. Yeah.
I think that would be really fun to just like deconstruct the sort of star system that exists around modern football. I think that would be brilliant. You know, because I think PSG showed in winning the Champions League last season that nothing sells football like football. And I know marketeers don't want to hear that, but actually what we all love is great football. And I think Michael Olise is a great individual example of that. I guess the thing is, when we're talking about the Ballon d'Or for the end of this year, Olise is either going to help Kane win it or he's going to help Mbappe win it. He's not going to win it himself. That seems more likely, because if France win the World Cup and Bayern win the Champions League, you think, oh, Olise's got to be in the box seat, but that's more likely to make Mbappe win the Ballon d'Or when he probably shouldn't. And I guess like the other way around, if Kane, like say if England were to win the World Cup or get to the final following a Bayern treble, then Kane would be in the box seat.
No,
but I guess what's so remarkable about Kane this season, and again, Bayern were monstrous last night. They were so good against one of the best teams in the division, and they just swatted them aside on their own pitch. And it's funny because Bayern have hit this incredible record. With 4 games to go, they've got 109 league goals. 109 league goals in 30 games, of course, already confirmed as champions. And you think, oh, Kane's record is unbelievable, but 32 of 109. You know, it's nowhere near the proportion that Lewandowski's record was of Bayern's goals in that season. It shows what a great collective they are.
Is he all that? 037. Cheers, Andy. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Should have stayed at Spurs. Should have,
Paul.
That'll teach him. It's true. 32 out of 109. Nothing special.
Absolutely nothing.
Tim Vickery joins us. We'll find out more about those injuries to key Brazilian players. Everybody's getting a bit nervous. Certainly the Esteval one is a great shame. But Tim joins us, brings us some of the weird and wonderful stories in the world of South American football. Then we'll have a birthday spread. We're here with Toolstation. Get your toolbox essentials this spring. Big savings on screws and fixings. Next stop, Toolstation.
What a weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal have gone and bottled it again. The dip that keeps on dipping. Arteta's fire wasn't enough to get anything at the Etihad. Man City now have the chance to go top on Wednesday. That game's live on talkSPORT. Give us a call, Arsenal fans. Have you bottled it? 03 717 22 33 Elsewhere tonight, West Ham, they failed to take advantage of Spurs dropping points. De Zerbi, though, he got his first point in charge at Spurs. It was my...
The one and only Sam Ryder! Please welcome back, Will Traeger. You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet.
Sad I've missed coming on the show.
It's your wild-ups, it's your wild-ups. It's your wild-ups, it's your...
We continue the theme of young starlets getting injured before the World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
With our man on South American football, and that's Tim Vickery. Good afternoon, Tim.
He's not injured, is he? Tim, you're not.
Tim's not injured,
are you?
Well, no, I'm not injured, and I'm not young either. So
You're a
that
starlet,
doesn't
though.
apply to me.
Yes, you are.
Well, in the eyes of some.
Yes.
Today is a holiday here in Brazil because it's St George's Day. You can't keep him all to yourself.
And in Turkey, I expect, as well.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Indeed.
So Esteval's injury, we were just talking about Lamin Yamal. Andy Brassel was at the game last night to watch that happen. It looks worse for Esteval. They're saying Lamin Yamal's probably going to be all right for the World Cup, but it seems pretty touch and go. What's the word over there?
Yeah, he hopes he's going to make it. I remember this time in 2002, in the build-up, there was a consensus that neither Ronaldo nor Rivaldo would be fit. They ended up winning the thing. Before, way back in 58, Pele got an injury at around this time. No chance. He's got no chance, but he's only 17. He's young. He's got youth on his side. And in the case of Esteval, he's in that age bracket, and he's hoping. But it is a worry because Ancelotti loves him. When he got his first start under Ancelotti, he scored 5 goals between September and November. And he was bolted on to be first choice. So what does this mean? Because they got a plan now. They got to at least plan to be without him. And they may take 26 gives you the chance to bring someone who might not be 100% at the start of the tournament. So it's good news, I think, for the lad at Bournemouth, Ayan.
Yeah,
who plays
scored last night
that position. And, yeah, indeed, and has started so well in the Premier League. I think when he went, it was kind of, no, I haven't really got any chance of getting into the into the squad. If he thought he really had a chance, I think he would have stayed maybe in Brazilian football a while longer. He's done so well that I think he could be a chief beneficiary. But I wonder if, because what Ancelotti has been wanting to do is to play 4 up front, which is, if everyone's fit, Estevão, Rafinha, Mateus Cunha, Vinny Jr. Can you do that in extreme heat with only 2 in the midfield, where one of them is 34-year-old Casemiro? So one possibility from this is that Rafinha moves wide right and they bring in an extra man in midfield. Could be Lucas Paquetá, although he was left out of the last squad. But it also could be the fella who was at Nottingham Forest until he picked up an injury, Danilo, left-footed midfielder, who went back to Brazil, and even in a struggling Botafogo side, is the best player in Brazilian football at the moment. So that there could be a rejig there. And you do kind of wonder if, in the conditions of extreme heat, they will be able to play 7 games, or 8 games is it now, with Casemiro as part of a 2-man midfield.
Eder Militao's picked up an injury as well at the back.
Yeah, but he looks like he's going to be fine.
Okay.
Although he has been injured. He spent most of the last few years injured. He didn't play a minute in World Cup qualification because he was injured for every last man jack of it. But that would be a massive blow because he's likely to be the first choice right back. And he's essential cover at centre backs as well. But they reckon he's not too serious. He's going to be all right.
There'll be a lot of stories like this over the next few weeks.
There will
definitely.
be. There will be. It's not going to be like the World Cup in Qatar in the middle of the season.
No,
is it?
No, exactly.
I wonder if people are going to consider it's now become a bridge too far, and I wonder if not only with the calendar but also with the heat, because on the next one, look at the next one. There's 3 games in South America in midwinter, and the rest of it is in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco in blazing summer heat at the end of a tiring season. So I wonder if there's going to be a rethink in the calendar.
Now, among the names in the betting for the next Chelsea manager, permanent manager, Felipe Luis, their former players, had a spell managing in Brazil. We've spoken about him in this section before. Do you give him a chance? Do you see him as a good fit?
Well, possibly. And one of the reasons that he was sacked in the dressing room just a few minutes after winning a game 8-0, I'm not sure that's ever happened before in the history of the game. One reason was, indeed, yes, was that the club, it was Flamengo, were kind of thinking that he's got his eye more on a European future than he has on us. A lot of people were thinking of him as Diego Simeone's successor at Atletico Madrid, on the understanding that he would be staying much longer at Flamengo because he won everything with them last year. The end of this November, start of December, he's winning South America's Champions League and the Brazilian League. and then by February, March, it's P45 time. So it's all happened much more quickly than could be expected. They could do a lot worse. And he's not one of those South American coaches who needs an adjustment to European football. He spent most of his career there, and all of his backup staff, they're all Spanish. So he's he does have a connection with his club. It wasn't his best football. His best football clearly was Atletico Madrid. A very, very intelligent young man, very, very committed young man, and Chelsea could do a lot worse. Although it does look, on the way that club is set up, it does look like something of a poisoned chalice, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a quick word on Neymar. We've been on Neymar watch with you. His chances of getting back in the Brazil squad before the World Cup. Where's he at the moment?
Running out of time. Last week, I remember you I was telling you that he played against the reserves of a lowly Paraguayan side, and he couldn't tip the difference there, and he got involved in a row with supporters on the way off the pitch, and he said he's not going to do that again. Then at the weekend, they were at home to Fluminense, and they lost 3-2, and he did nothing, and he missed the big chance when it was 2-2. And so as he's leaving the field, to avoid hearing all the complaints and everything that's been shouted at him by the fans of his own club, Santos, he puts a finger in both of his ears. A little bit like that. Do you know that joke from it was Brian Kent, Play School? What did the alien say to the petrol pump? Take your finger out of your ear when I'm speaking to you. And that didn't go down very well.
Brian Kent.
He rarely gets quoted in this section, Brian.
Well, not enough, not nearly enough. I think he's been overlooked.
Yeah,
and this didn't go down very well. So what Neymar said was, I had an itch. Like he had an itch in both ears simultaneously. So yeah, that didn't fly. It's a little bit like George in Seinfeld trying to go through the excuses. Am I going to find one? And what's happening now is he's losing quite a lot of the former players. Who are saying, number one, well, the level of football he's showing, he ain't doing it. Number two, he's just coming across like a kid. So some of the ex-players who were behind him 2 or 3 weeks ago are now beginning to turn against him. Played again last night, 0-0 draw, didn't do a lot. Won't play at the weekend. Middle of next week, they're away in the kind of Europa League equivalent to an Argentina side who will not cut him any slack. Right. They will kick him.
Yeah.
Right? So that's going to be really, really interesting. He's got 6 games left before the squad is named. So far, he's done nothing to justify a recall. And I would think it's unlikely. But if there's one thing I've learned in all this time on the earth is don't count off genius.
You never know.
And there are flashes of genius in him. But at this point, it looks unlikely.
Money gets involved. Yeah, you never know.
Indeed. Tim, we're out of time. All the best. We'll catch up with you next week.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
Thanks,
Tim Vickery there reflecting on what's going on in the world of South American football.
If Brian Kent and Seinfeld have ever been quoted in the same interview before.
Only Tim Vickery does that. There's no one else
why we've got him.
On this station, probably on this earth, who can bring the presenter of Play School alongside George Costanza. So, Tim back next week. We've got a birthday spread coming up next.
What is it with looking through the round window?
Yeah. Big Ted. What was with Big Ted? Yeah, you get the idea with that. So, birthday spread. Phil at the Fox, Jeff Peters, he'll have a black armband on. We'll try and lift him up. And Andy Jacobs joining us very shortly.
I don't know where West Ham's next win will be. I don't know where Spurs' will be. But if Spurs beat Wolves, which is the easiest game out of all the fixtures combined, I wouldn't put my house on West Ham beating Everton, Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle or Leeds. And if Spurs beat Wolves, West Ham are going to have to beat one of those teams or get a few draws, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't see that happening. So now I'm sort of, I don't really know where my money is as to who's going down now.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought, and I've said to you before, I thought Spurs would survive. I just think they've got a bit more about them. I know they haven't won a game in 2026, a league game, but it probably was a little bit of a missed opportunity last night. To be fair, it could have got a lot worse because they had chances. When Brennan Johnson's header, he probably should have done a lot better with that.
Yeah.
Goal obviously ruled out, rightly so, with the handball. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one for West Ham. I mean, they're both playing at the same time, which is quite interesting at the weekend. So at least there's not one almost. Oh my goodness, they've won.
Neither on telly, right? They're
Neither.
both Saturday afternoon.
Both 3 o'clocks. So
I can't remember. You got that stick, haven't you?
What stick?
Huh?
What stick?
So you can watch games?
No, I haven't got no stick.
I thought you got Premier League TV.
Yeah, code, not stick.
That's what I mean. That's what I meant. Sorry, Darren.
Use
Yeah,
the word code, please.
Code. I meant code.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. But yeah, I think West Ham will see it as an opportunity missed. But I said yesterday when we were predicting scores, for me, it just had draw written all over it. Palace, I know maybe, obviously, after getting through in the Europe and going back home and making changes, Palace at home were just quite hard to play against, quite solid, quite rigid in their shape as well. Got players hit you on the counter-attack, can defend deep if they have to. And I think one thing that West Ham, I know they've been in a little bit of better form, they lack creativity. And I think with Somerville and Bowen, probably Bowen, one of his more quieter games, you'd probably say.
Yeah.
Who would want the Chelsea job right now? We understand Andoni Iraola is the leading candidate. Here's talkSPORT presenter and Chelsea fan Olivia Bazaglo.
With the situation at Bournemouth and the setup he had there, and I just don't know if Andoni Iraola would even come and work at Chelsea. No. I just think it's a complete mess at the moment.
Under-21 coach Callum McFarlane steps up again after Rosenior's sacking. John Terry's currently amongst the academy staff at Chelsea. Will he be involved? Here he is on TikTok.
I'm not sure what Callum's backroom staff is going to look like. I've not had a call. I've not had a message. I will be continuing my role in the academy.
Now, it's understood FIFA have no plans to replace Iran with Italy at this summer's World Cup. The switch was proposed by Donald Trump's special envoy, who's Italian, with US and Israel's conflict with Iran still ongoing. Elsewhere, Bryson DeChambeau is apparently working on a new live golf contract despite uncertainty over Saudi funding. Meanwhile, Barry Hearns told us talks over Saudi snooker events are ongoing.
Snooker's in a very strong position. We've got a lot of customers that want events and not many days. So if we get to that situation, we've got plenty of homes for other events.
And tributes have been paid to Mr. Blackburn Rovers, Tony Parks, after his death at 76. The former player and coach was one of the longest-serving employees in the club's history, starting from 1970 and concluding in 2004. There's more at talksport.com.
Time then for the birthday spread, a simple game in which we have 10 birthdays collated by Andy Jacobs from this week. He'll have a little funny attached to each one. It's the John, myself and Charlie to guess how old these people are. Some will know, some we won't. We'll have to make an educated guess.
It's a waste of half an hour in a kid's game.
Kind of is. But we know an army of listeners play along every week, whether at home, at work, on the school run. And we say good afternoon to our old mate Chris Evans.
Chris Evans playing this afternoon.
He's ready to play, he
Ready
tells
to play,
us.
he's
So
there.
eyes down, folks. Let's say hello first to Andy Jacobs. Good afternoon, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Hi, guys. Look, can I just take a moment before we get into the fun to offer a retraction to something I said during my spectacular rant on yesterday's show.
Okay.
I repeated something I'd heard about John Terry being told he'd never managed Chelsea. It turned out to be completely untrue. And to be honest, I should know better than to repeat gossip. So I'm happy to offer my apologies to John and set the record straight. So
Okay.
there we
are.
Is what you said about Janet in accounts still true?
Oh yeah. No, the rest of it was spot on.
Yeah.
The rest of it was absolutely so accurate you couldn't believe it. But that's by the by.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We put that on record, Andy. Thank you.
Good. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, well, Philbert the Fox, we commiserate today, Jeff. Your once proud club in the mud.
Yeah, well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
New season
Very
starts.
sad.
New season. New. Blue square in 2
Wow.
years. Yeah.
Apparently, Kieran Maguire's done a piece today, which is don't read it. Is all I'm saying. Don't read it, Jeff. For God's sake. Anyway.
So just a quick throwback to last week. Charlie went wrong way Regals on the final guess, and Paul leads 9-1 this year. But I think the highlight of last week.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew.
Ooh, oh, Wally Walla Bing Bang.
That was good.
Very good.
Yeah. So, that was short. I think you like that
I
because
like
it was
that
short.
was short.
Yeah.
Let's get underway, shall we? Here's Pele and Sergio Mendes.
Okay, not quite up to that standard this week, but we'll do our best. And we start with the Conservative MP for Brentwood and Ongar from 92 to 2017, Lord Eric Pickles.
Ongar?
And he saved our local Scrabble tournament, actually, when he located the missing winner's trophy. Yes, who can forget Pickles finding the word cup?
Oh, blimey. Was it Eric Pickles? Got to be in
Eric Pickles.
Got to be 78. I'm going to go for big Eric Pickles.
Really needs to meet up with someone called Cheese, doesn't he? Start a double act.
Or Richard Branson.
Oh, there it is.
Who's called
That's what it
Cheese?
is. That's why you get the big
78.
John Cheese.
John Cheese. There was a double act called Cheese and Onion, but I don't think it was their real name.
Oh,
I'm Bobby Cheese, he's Billy Onion, but no one was buying that.
And I'm which one am I?
Yeah, okay.
Cheese and onion.
I'm trying to entertain the ladies and gentlemen. Stop interrupting my song. It was that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's just
Anyway.
that onion breath you've got.
78.
That sort of thing.
Jim Salt and Ernie Vinegar. Come on, get on with it.
78.
78. Yeah, I think you're in the right ballpark there, Paul. 77.
74.
Oh, okay. Yes. So scores,
Charlie went right way there.
Right way,
it's 4, Charlie 3.
Yes.
4-3. Okay, Charlie takes an earlier lead.
Yes.
Second birthday. Charlie to lead us off.
Okay, second birthday is the extreme athlete known as the Iceman. It's Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
I played against him, actually, for the Bunbury cricket team, and unfortunately, he was injured when one of my deliveries snapped a bone in his arm. It was a Hof break.
Oh, that's good.
Wim Hof.
He absolutely hates being bothered for selfies. Don't hassle the Hof. Sorry, Charlie. I'm laughing at my own joke.
I think he's going to be
doing it, Charlie.
I think Leicester's got to him.
League One's done him in.
Somebody sent me a message this week that just went Leicester 2, League 1, and I was like,
oh no, very harsh.
Good.
Wim
It was
Hof.
from a Notts Forest fan. Forest fan.
This is. You know what?
Wim Hof.
Chris Evans.
Wim Hof.
Chris will never know.
Yeah.
You'll be right on this.
Cold plunge.
Friends with Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Wim Hof, I reckon.
Go on. Quick.
All right. Yeah. 63.
I'd say he's in that envelope. 65.
67.
Oh, because he looks younger because
of
his cold
he's
plunge
freezing
and his other things. What's the scores?
He has got a cold plunge.
Yeah, what's the score?
I'm a massive fan of Chris Evans, by the way. What an absolute legend. So, Chris, if you're listening.
We'll love that.
If you are listening, he is listening. We've established that, Jay.
Yeah, he's a legend.
What's the...
So,
hoping for
2 out
another
onto
cameo.
6, and
what's the
Charlie,
scores?
4 out onto 7. So it's 6-7. It's 6-7.
Okay.
6-7. Hey, get down with the kids, Jeff, doing the old 6-7. 6-7. Oh, wow.
I don't like that laugh.
That's horrible, isn't
Laugh
it?
is really horrible.
Bit creepy, that.
It's really
Birthday
bad.
number 3.
Birthday number. I have no idea. Birthday number 3
right.
is the
Count
I
Arthur.
am the actress and singer.
Oh, yeah.
Patti Lupone.
Oh, yeah.
Patti Lupone. And she came to my jockey school actually, but she was a bit short for our bigger horses. I gave her one of our smaller foals. I said to her, "Ride Lupone, get on your pony and ride."
Isn't it Paddy Lupone?
I think it is, but I didn't want to spoil Andy's
No, it's
joke.
not really.
isn't it?
It spoils Andy's joke.
Sorry, that's a Sojourner Weaver.
Yeah, it could. I may be wrong.
No,
Patti Lupone. I like it though.
I've always called her that.
Do you know her? Do you know who she is?
I know she is. I don't know her.
She's done lots of theatre and stuff.
Oh, she was the
She
original
was in that film about
Evita on
Al
Broadway.
Capone, wasn't she?
Al Capone. Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that.
Bring me
laugh,
off.
Jeff.
Sounds like a laugh like you're pulling a string out of Jeff's back. That's the laugh that comes out. And then he goes, "Your Mars."
69.
69. 72.
77.
Wow. Okay. My guess was a bit pone, wasn't it?
It was a bit.
What's
Paul
that done
8
to
out
the
on to
system?
14.
Yeah.
Charlie 5 out on to 12.
Okay, good game. Your Mars.
Birthday number 4. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, he's known for playing Mr. Sulu in Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
It's George Takei.
These are hard this week.
Yeah.
And not many people know that George mentored Pep Guardiola in his early coaching career. He invented the style of football Pep made famous, Tiki-Taka.
Oh, okay.
Very nice, George Takei.
I was listening to an interview with George the other day with our own Ryan Tubridy on Times Radio.
Oh, that's
It was a
nice.
very interesting chat, but I don't remember him saying his age.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
Which is slightly lost on me.
sounded like this.
What did it say in the paper this morning, Paul?
Well,
Just think about that, and then you would say
that's
that
the one I
one.
should have
Yeah,
gone with. Well, how old is George Takei?
George Takei, I think he's in his 80s, 84.
Yeah, he must be around that. I can't remember. 86.
89.
Oh, blimey. See?
Good game, innit?
So
Good
old this
game.
week, aren't they?
So the scores, Jeff.
So Paul 3 out, Charlie 5 out. It is 17 all.
17 all.
Okay, we're going to half time with birthday number 5.
Half time with that fine musician Alan Price. Remember him, Georgie
Alan
fame?
Price.
Alan
Yeah,
Price.
yeah.
And we were walking past a local steak restaurant
yeah.
when Alan, who's a vegan, tried to swipe the meat off a diner's table.
Oh, that's a shame.
I had to say to him, "Oh no, don't stop the carnivore."
Oh, okay.
Is that one of the?
It's one of his
Don't
songs.
Stop the Carnival, is it? Don't stop
Oh
the
no,
carnivore.
don't stop the carnivore.
Yeah, I'm with
I
you.
went into that steak restaurant and ordered an Indian meal.
Yes, of course you did.
Of course you did.
That is so in. Okay.
Beautiful.
Alan Price. He's
Alan Price.
He's got to be in the Takei envelope.
The amazing dancing bear.
Yeah. 87.
Yeah, sounds about right, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
88.
84.
Oh, wrong way.
So at half time, the scores are, Jeff.
Paul 20, Charlie 21.
Oh, very good.
Ding dong do.
Walt Evans is also playing Chris Evans' son. Walt.
Okay,
Just picked him up from school. I bet he loved Alan Price, George Takei. He'd have loved all those.
Chris is going to spend the rest of the journey after the game explaining who all these people are. So, how are you getting on at half time? Do let us know. Includes you, Chris and Walt. So, talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089, tweet to TSH&J, and we'll bring you the best of those very shortly, and we'll bring you the second half in a few moments' time. We're here as always with Toolstation. You can check out their wide range of garden power tools with brands such as Bosch and Ryobi. Next stop, Toolstation.
Arsenal have been reeled back in.
The title in the hands for months and months, and
3 weeks ago, they had 10 points. It's not losing against City, as we said. You know, it's not losing against City that annoy me the most because there is no shame of losing against City. But it's the game before that, Bournemouth. You know, when you lose the 3 points at home, the way they played, I watched the game. I was so. I'm not going to say the word on the radio because. But you understand what I mean.
It was flat, wasn't it? It was flat.
Yes. No desire. I think they had no idea what's going on the pitch, and I think they didn't understand exactly what it takes, you know, to win the Premier League, especially when you have to fight against City. This team is amazing. You know, they're acting like as a champion every single season. So,
did you say that you don't think some of these players know what it takes to win the Premier League? What's involved in winning it? How you win it?
Have you seen the game against Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah.
Honestly,
there was no urgency. It was strange. I mean,
no energy, no creativity, no desire. I mean, guys, you're fighting for the title. You know that if you win that game, it doesn't matter if you lose against City and the game is in their hand as well. You still have 3 points. Come on, guys.
Sam Ryder! Please welcome back Will Tregershaw! You have 4 billion more listens than there are people on the planet.
On the planet?
Sad I've missed coming on the show.
It's your wild tubs, it's your wild tubs, it's your wild tubs, it's your...
Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent up next with Drive.
Yeah. I didn't know I was up against the legend Chris Evans. I thought, okay, I'm on 16 from John.
That's good work, John.
Well done, John, at Deb's Ironing Shop. Eat it, Chris. Direct hit on Takai, but was 35 for 4 before that. Kids game. Waste of time, Chris in Oxford. People hate it, don't they?
They do.
20 out. Ralph from Stockport. Lay around the swimming pool in Mallorca this week. Ironing work shirts. Oh, yeah, he was ironing last week. My best first half ever. Only 16 out. Dave, the ginger trucker.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans says, this is even funnier in the sunshine. This is for you, Andy. Tell Andy a big on-air, on Virgin debate on Monday about how old you are. All the various online profiles seem to disagree with each other. How ironic that the king of birthdays has the hardest date of birth to pin down.
What about that?
We'll never know how old you are, Andy.
Do you want to know how old I am?
No, keep it secret.
Message Chris yourself. Go pop down to Virgin and see him.
Yeah. They can count the rings.
37.
37. Okay, birthday number 6.
Chop him in half.
Off.
Yeah.
Like a magician.
I am a bit wooden, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we have got. She plays Daphne in Frasier. She's fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
It's the great Jane Leaves.
Yeah. Go on then.
Jane Leaves, yeah.
She used to open the batting, actually, for our local village team. But she was a bit boycott-like. I told our skipper she only plays at balls aimed directly at the stumps. Everything else, Jane Leaves.
Jane Leaves. I thought we were going to get eat shoots and leaves.
Yeah, so did I.
We were going to get that punchline, but no, we didn't.
Harold
Seen her getting a suntan on holiday, all the leaves are brown and all that, but that was probably last year, was it? Or the
probably
year
was, yeah. Even that didn't deserve his laugh. So what's the...
He just kept talking after the punchline. It was like he was embarrassed about the gap that was going to turn up.
You've got to sell it, haven't you? How old's Jane Leaves?
How old is Jane Leaves?
Yeah,
and that is the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Very much the game, yeah.
How old is Jane Leaves?
I hope you lose, John.
Wow, that was nasty. That was very
He's had a bad
very bad week. I'm glad Leicester went down.
Go on then.
National League South soon be Torquay Leicester, but won't be Torquay Leicester.
Yeah.
Maybe in the National League. Yeah. Anyway, come on, think about it. Jane Leaves.
Quick.
65.
67.
65 after direct hit.
Standard. So,
get your standard.
Paul 22, Charlie 21. Charlie in the lead by 1, 4 to go.
Oh, it's a ding-dong.
Standard. Evening Herald.
Birthday number 7. Here we go.
Birthday number 7. It's my second apology of the day. Slightly self-indulgent, but I'll enjoy it if nobody else does.
Oh, okay.
It's the fine actress and filmmaker Elaine May. May.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget when I caught the late, great John Arlott stealing a coconut chocolate bar from Elaine's handbag. I had to confront him. Whose chocolate bar is it, John?
May's Bounty.
Oh, okay.
May's Bounty.
That's John Arlott there.
Very in. That is very, very in.
Wow.
Wowee.
That's less in than your steak comment, let's be honest.
That's true.
May's Bounty.
Yeah.
It's where he first watched cricket.
He went at Jeff.
He went for Jeff.
They're bringing each other down.
How old is me, isn't it?
It's you, and I don't know who it is, so it's good for me.
Okay.
Elaine May.
88.
Oh, yeah. 88.
Yeah.
89.
Oh.
94.
Oh.
Yeah,
you didn't have a clue.
Didn't have a clue. I'd have been out there.
Mike Nichols wrote lots of great stuff, performed stuff.
Don't know who it is. Don't know
Isn't
that
the
is.
restaurant in New York, famous restaurant, Elaine's? Isn't that named after her?
Oh, is it?
Not sure, but she was, great writer and performer. So, and still is, of course. She's still alive.
Still alive, of course. She's
not writer.
She's
still alive.
She's 90 odd.
Yeah, 94. What's the scores, Jeff?
Unlike William Shakespeare, happy birthday. Paul on 28, Charlie on 26.
Oh, wow.
What a game.
Pretty tight game. Birthday number 8 we go on to, Andy Jacobs.
Okay, she was the creative director of US Vogue from 1988 to 2016.
Yep.
It's Grace Coddington.
Oh, yeah.
Grace Coddington.
Grace
And
Coddington.
the last time we met, actually, she was part of the Celebrity Catchphrase live tour with Stephen Mulhern. It was great to see Coddington and Chips. Mr. Chips, everybody.
There we are. Just remind us what she did in her years, Andy, could you?
2016.
She was creative director, US Vogue from 88 to 2016.
2016, okay, yeah.
Coddington is, of course, the full name of Cod.
Of Cod, yeah. Yes.
Posh
There you go.
name.
He's laughing. There's nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. I do that all the time. I've never said anything without laughing.
Yeah.
A pint of bottle.
That's how you sell it, though, Jeff. I mean, not the laugh that you do, the creepy one.
My creepy laugh. I think that was terrible from Jeff then.
What's gone out? Elaine Coddington.
Grace Coddington. Neither of us know who she is.
Vogue.
Complete shot in the dark.
Go on then.
2016. That's 10 years ago, Paul. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's not like, I know that feels like about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Bum. 68.
59.
Oh, no. 85.
Oh, Paul.
Wow.
Paul.
I thought Grace, it was young Grace. Young Mrs. Grace.
Young Mr. Grace.
Wow, Paul.
That's a disaster.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's not.
I was going to say the wrong way on the last one.
What's going on there then, Jeff?
She does look amazing, Grace. So Paul 26
that
out,
was good,
Charlie
Jeff, that was good.
17 out. Paul 54, Charlie 43. Charlie leads by 11 with 2 to go.
Hey, 2 to go.
Okay, birthday number.
Come on, Baker.
That could be.
Come on, Paul.
That could
Come
be
on, Paul.
seismic.
Okay.
Come on, Paul.
Could be telling.
Jeff tells me
That's Kai Havertz headed miss. That is what I've done there. Okay. But
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Sorry,
Andy.
Slightly passive aggressive the way he said that, but there we are.
Your own time. Do you want to hear the jokes?
Yeah, fine, Benny. Yeah. If you finished, have you finished?
Yeah, the real.
Finished talking about Kai Havertz, have you?
The vibe is off today.
Slightly hostile.
The vibe is off. It
environment.
really is.
Jeff started.
Jeff set the vibe for the day.
It's
He's
good.
ruined
Leicester went down. He's been
Absolutely
Andy's
ruined.
thrown Jeff under the bus for the vibe.
Okay, sorry, Jeff. Here we go.
Yes. Okay.
Is that a bad week?
Anyway, Jeff tells me that this next one has appeared before.
Okay.
I think he might be right. It's Alan Furst.
You think I might be right, Andy? You know this has
Alan
appeared
Furst.
every year.
Alan Furst.
Anyway, he's had a different change of career this year.
Yeah.
He likes to do a bit of acting.
Yeah.
And he's made cameo appearances in Rocky IV, The Godfather Part 2, and Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yes.
He was first amongst sequels.
That's good.
What does he do, the boy Furst?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, he should have
Chemist, chemist, master of Gonville and Keyes College, Cambridge.
Yeah.
Gonville sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's me most nights. 2012 to 2018. I nearly said his age. So Alan first.
How old is he? Yeah.
I'm going to say 79.
You went first.
I did go first that time, yeah.
Okay.
It's your turn now.
79, yes. Good shout.
Yeah,
I could just hang around with you, can't I?
You can.
Yeah. 81.
He is, in fact, 83.
Oh, Charlie, it's all going your way today.
Charlie
Easy
is
game,
flying.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this the kids'
flying.
version we're playing, or?
It is.
Unfortunately, it's Paul 58, Charlie 45, 13.
So I'm going to be 14 either way.
Watch me lose this.
Could be all the sweeter.
Now watch me lose.
Okay, here we go. 14 either way. I'll be. Here we go.
Okay, it's the sculptor Maurice Blick. Maurice Blick. And I'll never forget when he helped me decorate Mick Jagger's seafront apartment in Cape Town.
Yes.
I said to him, I see a red door and I want it painted Blick.
It did Blick. Okay.
No idea. No idea. I've got 13 to play with.
Yeah.
Maurice Blick.
Yeah.
No, I not a clue, and I'm so gonna get this wrong. It's unbelievable.
Please.
Go on.
Oh, Jack. That's sad.
Please.
Go on.
I hope they go bust. I hope they go out of business.
Go on.
Leicester Phoenix.
Yeah.
National League North.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
I reckon he's 83.
That's a good guess. I mean, I've got to be 14. I might go, he's a bit older. So I'm going to go 97.
I'm afraid Maurice Blick is 87.
Eat it!
Well played, Charlie.
What a player!
So
Bang! Everyone's
will be
happy.
very disappointed.
Cheering from around the world.
Grace Coddington.
What a player!
Grace is off my Christmas card list.
Spot on.
So well done, Charlie. Congratulations.
Yes, eat it. What an easy game. It was good jokes this
enjoy it,
week.
did you?
Good jokes this week, Andy. Very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, I'm glad.
Well, there we are. Another birthday spread.
Everyone's got a bit quiet.
Haven't they? Really?
It's a shame, isn't it?
Thank you, Jeff.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thank you very much, Andy.
Cross.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, there we are. Okay. Yeah.
There we are. That's us. Thank you. Well done.
It's gone a bit sad. Just because I won.
I know. It's just
good when I win. People like it.
Doesn't sound like it, does it? Going to play solemn music for the next 3
a bit
hours.
cross. They're going to,
Yeah, no drive today. There'll be 3 hours of solemn music played on talkSPORT now for the next 3 hours. Charlie won. Anyway,
they got. Yeah, no, carry on.
That's it. Yeah, really subtly. Yeah, the oxygen masks have fallen out the ceiling.
It's like the show's gone to be a really good show, and it's like it's fallen off a cliff. Everyone's.
Well, thanks for listening.
Chris Evans
coming up next.
Just texted he's not doing TFI tomorrow.
He's having a day off.
He's having a day off
because
of that.
won.
Oh well, there we are.
Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent up next. Thanks for listening. We'll catch up with you soon.
You found the mask?
Yeah, I found the mask.
It's just who we are, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I hope you lost it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Mate, do you know, it's half hot in here. And I can't... So you don't realise what it's like. I've had Arteta on. I'm going to have to take this off, mate. Well, I can't.
No? You what?
Wow, it's hot. I've got to take my top off, mate. I can't keep doing this, mate. I can't keep doing this.
What is going on?
What?
What?
What do you mean?
What is this?
What's what?
Is this talkSPORT merch?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?